Welcome to Sonic the Podcast. In each episode, we discuss a different Sonic game, rank all its levels from worst to best, and talk about what we love and what we hate. On this episode, we are talking about Sonic and the Secret Rings from 2007. We should intersplice every single pause with this.
What, to reflect the unbelievably good menu design?
The relentless UI. Oh, it's good shit.
How are you feeling about this game?
I must confess, I have lived and breathed Sonic and the Secret Rings for the past 2 weeks of my life.
I'm so excited to talk about it. It's been such a long time coming in terms of the way...
I don't know why, but it has flooded my every hour of existence in mind, like physicality, all of my desires. I just want to play it.
So for context, I have played this every single night for the last 3 weeks, probably.
I think I can pretty much say the same.
Yeah.
We've both 100%ed the game.
100%ed it.
So we have seen and done everything you can do.
Every single gold medal, every single page unlocked, every single fire soul.
It's a massive achievement.
It's a massive achievement. However, we completely cheated. And to be honest, that is I cannot recommend enough playing the game in the way that we both played the game, because if you play the game as it was intended originally on the Wii,
it's going to come out.
It is a very, very different experience. I mean,
it's going to come out how much of a difference this is. But I mean, the original playing the original compared to playing it on the emulator, we were both using Dolphin emulator, must be so much harder.
It's unbelievably difficult.
I think this game is next to impossible.
To 100% it,
so much more time.
To 100% it would take, if you didn't have. So there's two things that made it way easier. The first is you don't have to use the Wii motion controls. You can map motion controls onto either a controller or the keyboard. Yeah, which makes movements just way easier and less physically strenuous. Yeah. The second thing is obviously quick saving. I on my setup, I had my left bumper as quick save and my right bumper as quick load. So if I fucked up, which you do easy. Constantly, you can just immediately reload.
And a lot of the reason is just poor control. So yeah, I mean, if that's happening on the emulator, imagine what it's like on the Wii.
When you're flying along Pirate Bay and a flurry of cannonballs come at you at massive speed, and you lose all your rings because you've loaded up on every single speed mod that is in Sonic's upgrade thing with zero defense. Yeah. That's it. You've lost the gold medal, and then you have to sit through circa 30 seconds of.
You got to sit through scores, then results, then loading, and then mission unlocked, then a new page unlocked, then menu, then level, then missions, then ring, then confirm, then you're back in. No, then load, then you're back in. It makes a big difference. It adds about 2 minutes to the whole experience.
It's unbelievably slow to get through, just to get into the level. Yeah, the menu design is very strange.
It's pretty shocking.
Which we can get into.
However,
I have some bold claims. I have some bold claims to make about this game. So I think
I do as well.
Now that we've caveated the fact that obviously the biggest problem with this game.
We do have to preface that, because that's a massive feature which we were blind to while playing.
It's a massive problem is the fact that it was released on the Wii. And yes, there's a certain charm to it, and the party mode stuff, obviously that's perfectly
lends itself to the Wii.
Exactly. And in some ways, the motion control, I'm sure it's for a Wii game, it's probably very good, but oh my god, the jankiness of the controls really shines through. Especially when you're doing things like trying to go backwards. That's a fucking nightmare. Yeah. And then when you're trying... So one of the major problems with this game is as you play it, Sonic goes faster, you unlock moves and skills and abilities, and he becomes more enjoyable to play because he's obviously quicker. The downside of that, he becomes much harder to control. So then when he becomes harder to control.
Not entirely. As a concept, that's very normal and good. Like Frontiers does that. You unlock skills, you get better at fighting and faster.
Frontiers does it in a way that is not, because he is not enjoyable to play at the start.
No. I'm not defending. I'm saying the concept is standard.
I don't mind.
They do
the
it so weirdly.
It's really strange.
It is not fun to play for the first, I'd say, 4 or 5 levels.
I'd say honestly until you get to about Skeleton Dome, which is the sixth level, and you've got to the point where Sonic is 7th. Okay, fine. Sorry, including Lost Product. Yeah. Sonic is like reaching a sort of normal-ish speed. Yeah. Then it's fine. The problem is then he becomes, unless you have unbelievably fine-tuned control over your Wii remote, he's a fucking nightmare. Sorry, Wiimote. He's a fucking nightmare to control and gets very difficult, which then makes you more frustrated and it starts getting fiddlier, etc., etc. So if you took that control element aside, I think this game has some of the best levels in the entire Sonic franchise by quite a comfortable margin.
I agree. Because of sheer scale, design, boldness, originality of just concept. Yeah. And cinematic scope. There is just so much to enjoy. It's a visual and a visual audible and just like adventure feast,
which is why it's so good playing it. I played it with an Xbox remote. I know you played it on.
I played it on the keyboard. But isn't it such a shame? It's such a shame. Why did it have to be on the Wii? Imagine if this was Xbox or like Unleashed. You know, like imagine if it played like Unleashed. Oh my god, wouldn't this would be the best game ever.
Unleashed is like kind of close. It's the sort of closest to it.
No, but as in, you know, if it's on a like formal controller, not some fucking rectangle you're wanking about as you're playing, you know, like it would make it so much easier if it was just this regular
which is why controller. I couldn't recommend playing it on like 4K upscale Dolphin,
that is the
because
best
obviously the Wii has limited graphic capabilities
as well.
When you smash it up to 4K and you play it on an Xbox controller, so that you are as close as you can get to it being on a normal console that you would expect now. It is amazing. It is amazing. The level design is so rich,
it's unbelievable,
and vibrant,
it's unbelievable,
and also varied. You feel
such variation,
so integrated. I mean, honestly, compare the way you progress through levels in this versus the cyberspace levels of Frontiers, or some of the like shitty things in.
There's a lot of comparison we can. I think,
or even Forces, where you feel like you're on train tracks.
A lot of what we've seen these days to absolute shame.
I
was so not aware of this. I always knew I liked this game, but I never realized how much. And this revisit has opened my eyes. I think. I think. I mean, obviously, we'll get into this, but I mean, the whole game is loosely based off the story of the Arabian Nights. And this was made in 2007. You would never, sadly, the way games are these days, you'd never get a game that's like, let's make a game that has that is heavily inspired by like ancient Arabic architecture and culture based off this old text. You'd never get that. But like, look what it's brought, and look at the design. It's allowed them to just explore and make just unbelievable. It's such a treat.
The storybook element is an extraordinary. Well, it was like they're deep in Sonic's like very experimental stage, where they were kind of throwing shit at the wall. 2007 was an insane year.
Kept it
for
so
Sonic.
Interesting.
It had so many Sonic games.
Wasn't it Rush Adventure? Did it?
Rush Adventure, Rivals 2, and something else as well. And 06 right on its heels, and then Unleashed straight afterwards.
Wow. I've just found it had
and Riders. I think
it had Secret Rings, it had Rivals 2, it had Rush Adventure.
Yeah.
And a lot of Sonic X shit, I think. I don't know. Three big ones. Amazing.
Just it's
and Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Maze Craze.
There we go. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
online browser.
I think to repeat the cap, because we're going to be obviously, as is obvious, unbelievably positive about this game in lots of ways, and really focus on all of the.
You got to preface that we are aware of this.
There's a strong awareness and caveat that this is because we played a modded version. Not modded, but a version on
emulated,
an emulated version on a Dolphin, without the need to jump around and wave the fucking thing, and with the Wii, with the ability to quick save in 4K. That is a transformative experience, and unlocks and reveals the artistry, the richness, and just the masterclass of level design. And storytelling, which, to be fair, I hadn't fully appreciated at all.
Exactly.
in my first run through.
That's very well put. We can reflect that in the scores.
Yes, they will be reflected in the scores,
Yeah,
which we do
so.
at the end when we compare it to all the other games that we've ranked so far.
Oh yeah, I wonder how it's going to come out.
I think it will probably be lower than with.
It's going to really suffer because of the gameplay.
It will suffer because of the gameplay.
But the latter parts will be high.
Even our emulated experience can't say the awkwardness of some of the moments.
No, you can really still feel
where
it.
you're just, especially if you try and go backwards, because ultimately it's a what's the word? What's the term? It's an endless
on rails
run.
gameplay.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
constantly moving forward.
Yeah,
and it exponentially accelerates the longer as you leave him
which
to
is
go.
a cool idea for Sonic, because you think that would make such sense because he's Sonic. All he wants to do is go, but it really doesn't, because this game does kind of lend itself, or like you want, because it's such they're good places. You want to explore them, and you want free roam.
And sometimes
but you just
the
can't.
levels actually demand it that you do
Yeah.
stop and go back and hit a switch.
exactly.
Some levels are much better than others. I say that,
That's true.
and which we'll get into. I think some levels, way more than others, allow you to are much more forgiving. Oh my god!
Sorry, it was just the sands of the
Time break!
of the Arabian Nights.
That was horrific.
Shara just came in, gave me a ring, and I just rubbed it.
Just a ring.
I've just wished for 1,000 handkerchiefs.
Oh yeah. They'll be snowing around you.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
I can't actually remember. You just blew me out of the water.
Let's go!
Time break as I sneezed. That's great. It does sort of feel like a sneeze when that happens. It gets all misty and hazed. You can't see a fucking thing.
And an extreme lag in your lived experience.
Yeah, that wasn't just me. That is just what he does. Yeah, it's just crap.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I get what I can't remember what I was saying. You completely cut me off, but it doesn't matter. So you've played this game twice, basically.
This is my second. Yeah, I've only played it once.
How long ago did you play it the first time?
Years ago. I honestly, I actually couldn't tell you.
I was 6 years ago.
I played it emulator as well. Do you remember you found it 6 years ago? I honestly, I'm probably about the same, because I would have played it probably
6 years ago.
So maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
And as of today, March 9th, Sunday night in the UK, March 9th.
Yes.
We're recording at 10 p.m.
Hell yeah.
Ready for a late night
yeah.
of Sonic chat.
I won't be asleep until 3.
Well, you had a nap before to warm up.
I needed a nap. I had to be awake for
secret
this.
rings out.
Been playing all day. I've been playing so much that I've started to be on rails gameplay.
Yeah.
I now can't stop going forward.
I can't stop.
It's fucking great.
I played the first. I didn't 100% it. I thought fucking hell, it's impossible
Same.
to get.
I gave
all
up
the
after the
medals.
final boss.
But
and
this
left it.
time I was like, no, actually, I'm going to properly lock in.
yeah.
I'm going to sort the controls out. I'm going to get the quick save triggers so it's dead on and it doesn't fuck around. I bombed through it and I had so much fun. It was actually a fucking amazing gaming experience.
It's been a real highlight.
Yeah,
I've
loved every single level, and
Me too.
some of these levels I actually hated. I had really negative
Did you?
perceptions
Why?
of. Before, because I just remember them being a pain in the arse, and they are
Again,
a pain in the
that
arse.
is what sticks out,
They
sadly.
are a pain in the arse.
Oh, of course, that's what sticks out.
Especially if anyone doesn't remember the way the levels are structured. You start by doing the full act where you kind of go through every area,
Yeah.
and then then a whole load of mini missions are unlocked.
I think there's about 11 or 10.
Yeah,
And you have to do, it's like finish with the amount of rings, finish in time, don't get hit, kill enemies.
Exactly.
Don't pick up pearls.
And you
Beat Uhu the Wind Genie.
Oh yeah, Uhu. And it
big up
takes
Uhu.
you, big guy. It takes you through different small parts of the level.
I have a theory about him, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing that recur. And some are obviously way more interesting and less tedious than others. But the highlight experience is playing through the kind of overall level. That's the best part.
Yeah,
at the beginning.
Agreed. But yeah, I don't know. What made it doable to play to get 100% is that by the time you reach the end, as we've said, you can then play much better because you're faster, you've got better skills.
Yeah.
And you're used to the jank, and so you just work with it.
That fucking system is just not well integrated into the game. I did kind of enjoy customize, but ultimately all I was interested in was going fast. So it's frustrating because you unlock all these skills which would be really cool and enhance the gameplay, like soul pearl magnet and ring boost and all that shit, and grinding speed up and sliding and blah blah blah. But if you want to actually go quickly and get gold medals, you have to sacrifice those things and just stick to the speed thing, the speed skills, which is a real shame. It's just it's extremely clumsily integrated, and the fact that you have to go through and choose the ring and customize it and press accept and then press load is very awkward in terms of menu navigation. It's just not well designed at all. If you had that's something, if you did a remake of this game, you could fix and it would just be beautiful.
Again, like concept is good for it, but it was just done in a really sort of clumsy way.
Presumably it's the limitations of the Wii as well.
Yeah.
So what I think we should do, because there's lots and lots and lots to talk about, I think you should smash out the story, because I think we should, before we...
The story, just a heads up, is 3 paragraphs long.
That's fine.
So I have a lot to say.
We'll lock in. It's a lengthy story, because I want to, before we start, so for context, for the roadmap, we're gonna discuss the story, then we're gonna have a quick quiz, asking some questions.
Oh yeah.
Then we're gonna rank the 8 levels from worst to best. And then we'll discuss the bosses, rank those, and then we will rank the game in relation to all of the other Sonic games.
You missed one bit. Then after bosses, there's a little bit left, and we'll look at whatever's left, which is like collectibles, multiplayer, and anything we haven't discussed yet. And then we'll do the final ranking, and then that's that.
Yeah. I think we should. I think you should go through the story, and then we'll talk about the fact that, like, just the concept of this being a storybook.
There's a lot to say about that. Yeah. So, but you're right. We should do the story first, then.
Because there's lots to discuss in relation to that.
Okay, are we ready?
Let's go
for the story.
Sorry, let me get Sonic to say.
Let's go.
Nice. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, make believes reborn, myths in mind rethought. Question all that's known, legends blurred and torn. While reading the Arabian Nights, Sonic meets a mysterious genie named Shara, who informs him that the whole world of the Arabian Nights is under threat by a malevolent genie called Eraser Jinn. As his name suggests, he intends to erase all the stories of the book and unleash his power into the real world. Shara tells him of a story prophesying Sonic's arrival and his subsequent victory against evil. Once he wears Shara's ring, as she is a genie of the ring, a contract of master and genie is made between the two, and he proceeds to enter the world of the Arabian Nights. Upon entering, Sonic meets Eraser Jinn, who shoots an arrow of judgment into his chest, bounding him to locate the 7 world rings and bring them to the evil genie. Each world ring corresponds to a different emotion that represents one of the story aspects of the Arabian Nights. Shara feels guilt for bringing this fate upon Sonic. He heads off into the world to find the 7 secret rings. Sonic travels far and wide, encountering familiar faces from his own world, existing as different characters. He passes through the desert domain of King Shahryar, who is Dr. Eggman. He meets Ali Baba, who is Tails, the famous adventurers Sinbad the Sailor, Knuckles, and King Solomon of the Undead, who isn't anyone, he's just King Solomon. Through treacherous worlds, Sonic collects all 7 rings, fending off the Eraser's henchmen and terrible foes like the Ifrit Golem and Captain Beamoth. While in the Skeleton Dome, King Solomon explains to him that the Eraser Jinn is a genie of the lamp, unlike Shara, who's a genie of the ring. The latter is less powerful. Eventually arriving at the evil genie's lair, the Night Palace, Sonic faces him where he proceeds to retreat behind a door and locks it. Sonic uses the 7 world rings he's gathered to unlock it. Once inside, the Eraser Jinn makes Shara give up the 7 rings. She complies and reveals that she wishes to be back with the evil genie and gives in. Sonic panics and rubs the ring on his finger, commanding Shara to do what she feels is right. So while attempting to sacrifice Sonic to utilize the full potential of the rings, Shara blocks Eraser's blade and dies instead. The genie proceeds to absorb the 7 rings, attempting to achieve the power of the creator of the stories. Because he failed to sacrifice Sonic, Eraser fails to fully transform, becoming a hideous mutant monster, Alf Layla Walayla. He now intends to destroy the world and rewrite it in his own image. Sonic unintentionally absorbs 3 of the rings, Sadness, Rage, and Hate. These are the rings he absorbs, where he transforms into Darkspine Sonic. A brutal battle ensues between the two, where once Sonic is victorious, the Eraser is vulnerable. Sonic uses the lamp, given to him earlier by Shara, to demand 3 wishes of the evil genie. He wishes for Shara to live, the world to return to normal, and for the Eraser Jinn to be sealed away in the lamp forever. Once this is all granted, because Eraser Genie is bound by the laws of the lamp. He has to. The lamp is then disposed of in lava, never to be seen again. Shara is overcome by grief at the Eraser's fate and her betrayal of Sonic. Sonic takes pity and wishes for handkerchiefs to give to her so she may cry as long as she needs to. In the end, the world is saved, and Sonic eventually finds his way back to his world, having many great adventures along the way.
That was tight!
Nice.
Very good. Well done. That's a lot. That is a lot.
Big stuff.
Extraordinary story.
Nice. Yeah.
And again, there's like 3 of those.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I unlocked 3. Yeah, and another mission unlocked, and another mission unlocked. Yeah, what do we think of the storybook idea?
It's so rogue.
It is bizarre.
It's so weird, but it does what I don't know. It's just, I mean, I reckon it sort of. I reckon this is something that people don't really realize that they like, which is just how good it is and how sort of interesting and fun it is to just put Sonic in the most random environments, because he's such a. What's great, and this is how he's been made over the years. Unlike Mario, Sonic can kind of go anywhere. You can put him in any environment, any context, any sort of culture, and he'll just fit as someone who doesn't obviously fit in, but will just integrate perfectly.
Do you know why that is?
Tell me. I'd love to hear.
This is why this game, I think, has such like unexpected depth, and I think this game in particular, 06 does as well, but it's a whole other thing.
I feel like I've seen a video on something about this, but go on.
I haven't. I don't think I'm plagiarizing.
I'm sure you're not, but I've just had a deja vu. Go on, go for it.
So, whether I'm right, whatever. I think it's because this game in particular showcases Sonic's brand of heroism well. Yes. And it's because he fights because of who he is, not because of a higher ideal. He doesn't fight for some kind of grandiose idea of duty or fate or being the bigger one. Sonic just reacts because of his personal code, which he follows, of basically do the right thing, help your friends, and be a good guy, and look at the bright side, which means he makes the right choice every single time because he remains true to himself every single time.
Good. How good is that?
And that's why Sonic as a character works so well in all of these different contexts, because he is always the same. His heroism is so compatible with any adversary, against any adversary. You could say in any context.
You can say of the story, he's not the main character. He is the vessel by which other character stories are told through, like Elise in 06 or Shara in this.
Yes, Sonic is,
or Chip in Unleashed. He's always used to represent the perfect like choices and behaviors.
The paradigm
next to a flawed character who then learns from him and is then redeemed. It happens in loads of the games.
It definitely does that's a really good point. It does in these games. What's interesting is more modern adaptations of Sonic have focused on, like, I'm thinking of Prime and other games.
Him as sort of being
has focused on his like compulsiveness and arrogance as a weakness, and that is interesting. I don't mind that.
It's a shame.
But I really like in this era, the Jason Griffiths era, where Sonic's optimism just is like this blinding light that shines through
It is the strongest, most unrelenting force.
What is interesting though is that this game in particular,
that's why I aspire to be.
This game in particular, everyone should. That's why he's so cool.
That's why everyone likes him.
This game in particular does something. I don't think they made enough of it, because what it does is actually really clever and interesting. But the whole thing with Darkspine Sonic absorbing these 3 particular rings, which you mentioned, anger. What was it? Anger, sadness, and grief.
Sadness, and anger.
Yeah.
Hate.
In response to Shara, is that what we're saying her name? Shara, basically being killed. She's killed. She's dead. His friend is dead. Sonic has failed to protect her. And still overcoming, which he does what he sort of mentions quite early on in the game, where he says something like, okay, like these rings, they might represent one thing, but actually it's all about how the person yields and interprets that emotion and isn't overcome by it. It's about controlling it, and that's how great stories are made. That's exactly what Sonic does. So the message of this game is, don't be overcome by overwhelming negative forces of anger, darkness, and evil, anger, darkness, and grief. Use them them, harness them, and become a better
also,
person and be more like Sonic. And Sonic remains
so
true
good.
to himself
So good,
and is able to defeat and rewrites his own. He chooses his own destiny. He conquers the path of fate, which Eraser Jin has put before him.
He also just to like build that up more and add to it. He unintentionally absorbs the rings.
Yes.
It's not like he does it. They go into him because that's what he's feeling.
Yes, which is why Darkspine Sonic is so cool.
I know. And instead of destroying him or making him some sort of like the Ifrit Golem, which is fueled by one ring, which I think it's hate or rage. It's the red one. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll find out.
I think it's hate.
I think so. He uses them for a force of good to stop this beast. It's just brilliant. So even when he's forced to confront these emotions, he still uses them for a good cause, which is brilliant. Because which is a way of sort of saying, everyone feels this, even Sonic, but it's about what you do with it that matters.
Exactly.
He's so good.
There's two other. So
good.
a quick tangent, because this is actually just a really quick point,
go on.
which is just unbelievable. I don't know if you noticed. Obviously, we'll talk about Darkspine Sonic a bit more. Yeah. But what is really cool about Darkspine Sonic is that you see for the first time Sonic's feet.
You freak. Yeah.
He's not wearing shoes.
No. You see, he has no toes.
He has no toes.
They're just soft little stubs.
I think that's just, what a choice.
It's quite cool to make him
cool.
naked with rings.
Yeah.
It's
really
interesting.
Really cool.
There's probably something to. Well, yeah, because he's exposed.
Yeah, he's vulnerable.
Because he's vulnerable in this state.
Yeah, and it just works with his awesome pattern and design.
You know that it's inspired by a Ford GT?
I know.
How cool is that? Because it was I forgot his name, but it was his favourite car or some shit.
That's so cool.
Because he liked the racing stripes.
I fucking love Darkspine Sonic. I think he's literally the coolest.
I think he's amazing.
And he's kind of like a dark Sonic. Like he's an evil Sonic.
He's very unique. Do you know the other one transformation where he's in pain? I saw some piece of trivia about it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of my quiz questions, but we can discuss it now.
No, we can save it. Go on.
No, because it's fine. We'll talk about it now. Basically, the only three. What's interesting about Darkspines, as you mentioned, is that it's unintentional. He didn't mean to transform into it. It just happens to him.
I remember which ones they are now. Yeah.
That also happens to. Well, can you name the other two?
Supersonic Cyber in Frontiers.
Yeah, and that's when he's in pain. Yeah,
but it's still less because he knows about it. And he knows that something might happen.
I think he chooses that. He's not on my list. I have Excalibur Sonic
and Werehog. Yeah.
And he's definitely in pain.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it. Yeah.
I don't remember Excalibur.
I don't remember it. No, but we'll see. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
Nice.
I think also to top, just to add to it, I think Jason Griffith's voice acting, I know it's not it's varied in popularity. I think it's outstanding.
I think it's great.
I think it's so good. I
think one of the best lines ever, as I shouted about half an hour ago, is have you got a sound of it? I really hope you do.
I probably don't.
When he defeats the final boss, and it's he says your story. I've written it down. He says I wrote it down in caps. Your tale is finished, Eraser. Next time, try writing a better story. It's so good, and he fucking grits it out with anger.
That's Darkspine Sonic yelling that.
I've
got it. You ready?
Go on, give me.
Your tale is finished, Eraser. Next time, try writing a better story.
It's fucking awesome. Again, because he's pissed off.
Yeah,
it uses it. But fuck you. It's so good.
I think we should just play. The
music, mate. Fuck, you reminded me. Talk about you reminded me about the music in this.
I think another
nearly flawless feature in this game.
The music's amazing. Let's talk about that when we get to the gate, because I want to keep going the story. Let's just listen to this fucking. This takedown Sonic, because this actually, I know I just said that Sonic's this kind of bastion of good and ethic, but he has no ethical qualms about, it's not even murdering, he is eliminating. He makes the conscious choice to eliminate this character from existence. Eraser Jin. He basically shoots him 3 times and then casts him into oblivion.
Yeah.
He has no qualms of doing that because presumably that's
to be
because
fair, that is quite on him because he usually tries to redeem them, doesn't he?
But I think he's just like this fucking guy. There's no way.
I mean, there isn't, is there?
No, he's such a cunt.
He's cooked.
He is cooked. He's obviously, and I think he's so angry at what he's done to Shara, which is basically. Well, we'll talk about that as well. That's really interesting. But he's horribly manipulated her and murdered her. I think he's just like, actually, fuck this guy.
This guy is irredeemable.
And I respect that so much. He's not being cute and being like, we're gonna put you away and you're gonna learn a lesson. We're gonna redeem you. No, he's like, no, you are a fucking menace.
You have crossed the line here.
You need to go. I think that's so good.
It's brilliant.
Just listen to this takedown from Sonic.
Am I right?
I will never grant any wish from the likes of you.
My first wish, bring Shara back to life.
My body is
Second wish, return the Arabian Nights to the way they were, so that the world can have its stories again. My third wish, Eraser Jin, you shall live out the rest of time trapped inside your lamp as you were in days of old.
He's pissed.
It's so good.
He is angry.
He's sitting in his throne. It's
such a big dick move. He's so good.
And then, so the reason I say he eliminates him,
he sits with his legs crossed.
Yeah, he does. So sassy.
Bad bitch.
He then. There is a very short snippet in the credits of him. He tosses that lamp into the lava.
The fire of the lavas of Evil Foundry.
He's gone.
Eraser Jin is wiped from existence.
That's complete. That's worse than death. They
couldn't have at least. Oh, no. He's like Mephiles. He is erased from time.
He is gone. It's quite a shadow move. That actually.
It is quite a shadow move. Yeah, but I mean, fair. You can see Shara as Sonic's Maria, not really, but it's like, it's the same level of vengeance. Yeah.
I think that acting is fucking good. It's hardcore, and then he blows the thing out like a gun, like a smoking gun.
It's awesome that
the genie lamp.
Attitude, it's great. That's that classic Sonic attitude.
Yeah.
Which is good shit.
So I want to say another point, but there's two more points I've got on the story that are interesting, and they're quite difficult to formulate, but I'll do my best. So the Shara and Eraser Jin's relationship is strikingly like adult, and I mean that in the sense that it's like it's actually, if you really look at it, they're sort of exes, aren't they? They were in a relationship.
It's implied. It's never confirmed, but I think the most likely outcome or reality is that they were once together.
Yeah. So basically,
a sort of like, well, because he's of the lamp, she's of the ring, in a sort of like master and servant kind of way.
Yeah. But
which is why she has this like Stockholm syndrome kind of thing.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They were that is an abusive relationship. What we're watching is the
it's
aftermath.
Also not okay in a work environment.
No,
it's like a boss and his employee.
Is a really abusive relationship. But the reason it's so like thoughtful is that it goes further than it just being, oh, he's a dick to her. She wants to please him and uses Sonic and manipulates Sonic as she has been manipulated by Eraser to get to actually help Eraser Jin, and goes through with betraying Sonic just because she's trapped in this deeply, deeply, deeply toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Where it is just actually brilliant is Sonic, through his like characteristic optimism and brilliance, cuts through that with that really clever thing of being like, no, what do you actually think is right? What do you,
genius.
Which is exactly what Sonic would do. And it basically just like tears her in two, which perfectly captures the complexity and delicacy and difficulties of being trapped in an abusive, toxic relationship, because she wants to help both sides. But and you know what, the beauty of the story is that the antidote to a toxic relationship is Sonic the Hedgehog, because He can do it. He gently and very sensitively guides her through. He doesn't ever go like, no, fuck this guy, don't do what he wants. He's like, do what you think is right.
Exactly.
Do what it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel bad.
Crying is amazing.
I'll give here's all the hanky, which beautifully wraps it up in this very Japanese weird way of kind of, he brings back this strange moment at the start where he wishes for all these handkerchiefs and then he gives them to her. And I think that's actually beautiful. That is so good.
There's no punishment. There's no there's no teaching. He just says you can just cry and just let this wash over you. Just carry on.
And he does that.
It's okay.
Yeah, he does that several times. He does it earlier on as well when she's really up. I can't remember when I think it's after the Ifrit boss. She's upset and he's like, you don't have to tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
He's so mature and sensitive and
he is sensitive. They have a really, really nice dynamic.
Yeah, they do. She is quite annoying,
but yes, but
because she doesn't shut up a lot of the time. And when you play the level again and again, she says the same thing again and again. And sometimes she berates him for being going too fast. It's like, just chill, let Sonic fucking fly, mate. Just relax.
She also takes piss out of him for not being able to swim.
Yeah, which is
Sonic.
That's kind of fair. That's kind of fair.
Yeah, but that's just I don't know. It's quite.
It's a low blow. He doesn't actually reply to that.
No, he just airs it. He completely airs it.
Yeah, he lets it on red.
He's like, I'm not dealing with this. That's so true. But isn't that amazing?
It is, and
how good is that?
It's fantastic. There's such depth there. There's such a positive, healthy, amazing. That just makes Sonic such a good role model because you're like, this is how you deal. This is how you're nice, gracious, and kind to people who need help. You don't berate them or punish them or tell them off or tell them what to do. You just lead by example and do the right thing. That is why he's so fucking cool.
True.
It's why he's the best.
It's why everyone loves him, because everyone feels that he's just perfect.
Yes, and now to add one more point to that, so this is wanky, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, I could probably expound on this if I properly thought about it and wrote it down. There is is
this a chiasmus?
No, there's not a chiasmus, but the whole game is a kind of meta commentary on just the power of storytelling stories, because it literally and emotions, and like the Matrix does. I only say that because it's something I can think of. It preaches the lesson of the choice is yours. Fate does not control your destiny. You do. You have the power to choose. Make the right choice.
Nothing is as written. You can write your own story.
which is reflected in those that the lyrics you read out at the start of your synopsis. So it literally takes place inside a book where stories shape realities, stories being fueled by human emotion, which is represented by the 7 world rings
that bind how great is that? The most sacred items in this world literally are the binding rings of the book along the spine.
It's so cool.
I think that's genius. So cool. It's very clever.
And the ending is a direct meta commentary on who gets to control the story. Eraser wants to rewrite the Arabian Nights, this established book and this established narrative, as himself as supreme ruler. Sonic comes in and makes the choice to do the right thing and erase him from history. And it basically renames the whole book
after
Sonic and the Secret Room, which I think is a sort of slightly heavy-handed but very powerful message of saying, you are in control of your destiny. Don't feel like you're dictated and oppressed and maneuvered into being a character in someone else's story. You make the choices.
Can you? This might not work. Can you see it as also sort of you can read this as you wish. You can interpret this how you want to.
Yeah, I think. I think so.
I think that is right. Yeah, I'm just trying to think how that's better.
I think
it's up to you. You're free to interpret and read it and get from it what you want.
Yes, I think you can. I think you can say that. I think you can say, even in a world where stories seem predetermined, a la the Arabian Nights, you can, which is a sort of already written thing, blah blah blah. You can choose your own path, whether it's through relationship trauma, the challenges of life, threatening evil. The future is written by those who make the choices and fight for them, like Sonic. And yeah, the song Seven Rings in Hand, if you look at some of the lyrics to that, it kind of preaches that. No such thing as fate for those who speed, which is the first line. That captures it. That's like, fate doesn't control Sonic because he fucking blasts through it and writes his own story. A path out of time instead of just living in it. I think that's actually a really nice line. So it's like, rather than just living through what's already written out for you, you tell your own story. And then the rest of the lyrics kind of just explain,
like laments on the damage done by Eraser.
Exactly. And then, so many things erased before they even begin. Hopes undreamed instead of what they could have been. Fortune's face,
like that. It's nothing at all. It just seems. As in seems, as in like.
But that's
the book.
so clever. Yeah, nothing at all. Just seems, and I think it's such a like clever play on words. And then Sonic rewrites history with
Seven in Hand.
Fortune shines with Seven in Hand. Back to fact to make real all that seems. Make real all that seems. And that's Sonic doing that. And then there's that bit, make believes reborn.
Feet in sand, wonders all under command. While with just one single, it's so good. Arrow and Hotchkiss fire. Oh yeah.
So there is a lot of depth here. There's
an incredible amount.
It tackles abusive relationships,
Explains
the power of free will.
Isn't that great? People are going to hear this and then play that game and have a new perspective.
I hope so. Abusive relationships, power of free will, power of storytelling, all wrapped up in this amazing like mythology with beautiful visuals and just unbelievable richness. Unbelievable. Sadly marred by a fucking motion control console.
It's such a pity.
Makes it almost unplayable.
As is the case between Adventure and Unleashed. I think this is why, or at least one of the main reasons why I love that period is my favorite period of the whole of the Sonic franchise.
The depth.
Which is because in so many of the games there is such deep meaning and great teachings for the players, and it leaves you with a real. Isn't it? I've just realised it. Isn't it? When you finish a Sonic game, doesn't it feel like a really, really big emotional investment you've put in?
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something with the final bosses and final things of that period that have a real sensitivity to them and depth that just kind of fills you with like a sense of hope. And like, this is, it's going to be fine. It's really nice.
They do.
And they're always so deep.
They are, and I think it's because they're
and they've really
they doesn't happen much.
I'm not sure. Well, they just bring back the
only one that's come close is Frontiers, I think.
But I'm not sure how much that toy. It was more just a sort of like. Well, actually, no, that teaches a lot, but it does it a bit more obviously, and a bit more predictably.
There's
rather
something
than through more interesting lenses.
These games of this era, from Adventure to I'd say Unleashed. I would say it stops at
loses
Unleashed.
it a bit. Yeah, it does.
Has this like very unique quality of teaching really profound and
this
emotional.
This is not what I've just said.
Yeah. I'm it is what you've just said. I'm just I'm revoicing it.
Go on.
Of like teaching these emotional lessons, but they're not immediately obvious. You could play the game and just miss them and miss it and just be like, that was a romp. But
it's
actually,
nothing
when
absolute,
you look,
is it?
No, it's more like
it's all sort of gentle. Like this is what
Well, it's not absolute. They're just deep. There's just lots to extract from them. There's lots that you could take from it. There's lots of messages you can run away with, and a lot of them are centered around the like consistency and potency,
freedom, optimism,
and values
doing
that Sonic
the right thing
encapsulates exactly.
And friendships and loyalty. That's a massive one. It's always there.
Massive, and as you said, freedom.
I think you're right. It's an incredibly good thing to teach young kids.
I think in this game, it really struck me in this
really
game.
Good values.
He is such a good role model in this game. Like the way he deals with Shara, the broken soul that is Shara, is exemplary. Like you really don't see it very often. A character that looks like that and is in that kind of format, like behaving with such grace and goodness, like radiating goodness. in a delicate situation. It's fantastic.
Very true.
I think we should. So this is just a point of interest.
One more thing to say after we go on. What are you going to say?
I was going to just talk about just the Arabian Nights.
Let me just say my one last thing, and then we'll go on to that. I just off that. Just think about where you are right now, like exactly where you're sitting, right where you are, and look across the room you're in. Just imagine how nice and good it would be if Sonic was just standing there. How great would that be, if he was with you and you could talk to him?
It would be the best thing ever.
And just converse with this just being of utter goodness and virtue. It would just be such a joy.
I feel like he's like the best part of every person.
Yeah, he is.
He's just what you want to be. He's just this is why Sonic is just the best. It literally is just the best. He will always be
I agree.
An absolute paradigm ideal in my life. Like I don't look up to anyone more.
I honestly think I agree.
I don't know. I can't explain it.
I've always aspired to be like him.
He's just the coolest, the best. He's so
the best
like,
is when I'm told that I look like him. I love that.
Maybe you look a little bit more like a razor, to be honest.
Nice, mate. He's shredded.
He's also purple, and
he's got purple
cunt.
skin and the biggest cunt ever written.
I think, to be honest, like he is the biggest arsehole.
Isn't he such a twat?
He's also like
he's such an arrogant
he's
twat.
Kind of the worst, and I don't mean that in like he's the worst guy. He's just quite shit. He's not a good villain.
Yeah, he's a bit he's a bit crap.
He's only good because of like
a bit uncomfortable. I'd hate to be near him.
He's really arrogant. Like he's just lame.
Filthy rat.
He's actually just lame. He's really lame, and he looks ridiculous.
Lame is the word. He is. And also, I'm sorry. What a stupid name. Why has he got a fucking razor?
They missed the mark there.
And he's named after a rubber.
They missed the mark
because
there.
he's rubbing things out.
It's a bit on the nose.
It's a little bit like.
It's a bit on the nose.
Come on, but I mean, to be fair, it does have a kind of cool ring to it.
It's in the spirit.
Gin.
It's in the spirit of the game. It's fine.
Because it's about writing and shit. But still, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's fine.
So you've read the 1001 Tales of the Arabian Nights.
I got into this because I was like, who the fuck is Eggman's character?
Scheherazade to read it to you.
Who is Eggman's character? Like what?
King Shahryar.
What is that? So this is just an interesting quick.
I don't know much.
Quick
so
synopsis.
Tell me, just make it quick.
I will make it quick.
Don't do too
speed
much.
through. No, I won't because it's massive. So basically,
just let the speed mend it.
Yeah. The Arabian Nights.
That's a good name as well.
What? Let the speed mend it.
No, but isn't it? It fits in.
It does.
Into what you're saying.
If it's thematically brilliantly, it's a bit
like
of it's slightly strange
like just
phrasing.
Run. Mend.
Mend is a bit
Let the
weird.
Speed repair it. It's fucking weird.
The Arabian Nights is directly taken from a real life storybook, which is called 1001 Nights, where the Arabian Nights book title first shown in English language in 1706. It features a collection of stories gathered from West, Central, South Asia, and North Africa. And the tales themselves trace back to ancient medieval Arabic, Persian, Indian, Egyptian, Mesopotamian folklore and literature, which has been over centuries in the making. So it's a collection of stories adapted, and then Sonic adapts it in its own very specific way.
Yeah.
And within the story, the kind of framing narrative of the whole of the Arabian Nights is this absolutely horrible character called King Shahryar, who is Eggman in the game. What basically happens is, right at the beginning, he is horrified to discover that his brother's wife has been unfaithful. Discovering his own wife's infidelity his brother's wife and his wife have both been unfaithful, and he's horrified. So he orders that she should be executed. And in his bitterness and grief, decides that all women are the same, and they're all unfaithful, and they're all horrible. So he then marries a succession of virgins, but executes them every morning before they are given the chance to dishonor him. So he literally goes through all these virgins, where he marries them and then kills them the next morning. Eventually, the Visor, I think that's how you say it, Grand Visor, can't find any more virgins in his land. He's like, you've used them all up, and they're all dead. Apart from the Visor's daughter, who's called Scheherazade.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think it's Scheherazade.
Scheherazade, yeah. Who offers herself up as the next bride. And the visor's like, oh, fuck, you're going to get executed as well. And presumably horribly molested by this king who then kills them. On the night of their marriage, Scheherazade starts to tell the king a story, but doesn't get to the end of it. So the king's like, oh, fuck, I want to hear the end of the story. So I'll postpone your execution until the following night so that I can hear the conclusion of the story. And basically what happens is she finishes the story the following night and then immediately starts a new one and doesn't finish it. And the king's like, oh, fine, I'll postpone it again. This happens 1,001 times.
Yeah.
So she tells a new story every night. And those are the stories of the Arabian Nights, which is why it's called 1,001 Nights. Hence Alf Layla wa Layla.
Oh, yeah.
In the end, right at the end of the book, King Shahryar decides to spare her altogether because he's been transformed by the power of stories and all of the positivity that's come out of these stories. And he's been so captivated by her stories. And they live the remainder of their lives in happiness.
Wow.
That is the character that Eggman is.
So weird.
He's a virgin slaughtering, like, complete sort of...
doesn't, like, none of that comes through.
No.
He's literally the most abhorrent character
misogynistic
in the original
murderer.
story.
That's him. Yeah.
Horrid monarch.
He's awful. Absolutely.
And then I mean,
in this, he's just a coward
he's just a person who gets taken by a fucking pterodactyl
and never seen again.
Never seen again. He has because I mean, what was it? The game says he's the creator of the original creator of the Arabian
He's not.
Nights.
The game says he's the main character. Which he technically is, and then Sinbad
but really isn't.
And
Alibaba are ones from like
recurring characters in the stories,
like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves,
exactly,
yes.
And Sinbad the Sailor. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
So that is what a source material.
Why would they choose that?
And also, so just a caveat: at no point do dinosaurs appear.
Well, obviously not. But I mean, isn't that great that they did anyway?
So
but so I mean, how weird is that as a choice for the storybook series?
It's wild.
Let me just, I mean, so they were gonna, so there was the sequel, which is The Bat Knight.
Yeah.
I wish they'd made a third. Wouldn't it be amazing? They were gonna make one more, and they posted this is just interesting. They posted a poll of the choices.
I saw this, yeah.
I'll just read them out. Film noir, Greek myths and legends, horror, sci-fi, Western cowboy, or other. I would love to see Greek myths and legends.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. As would have Western cowboy.
Yes, and probably sci-fi too.
I think
it'd be amazing.
It's such a cool idea. I really like the idea of having Sonic, Tails and Knuckles appear as like analog characters.
Yeah.
With that retain their personality traits.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I think it's a fun gimmick.
It is. It's good.
How Sonic gets out of this and goes back is a complete mystery.
He just runs until he comes back.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What is particularly interesting is that King Solomon, who's obviously a character in Skeleton Dome,
he's not in the original.
Is not in the Arabian Nights. They've made him up.
They said he was inspired by he might be inspired by
the Hebrew king.
The real Solomon, so the former king of
not
Israel.
Really. He's a sort of mixture between that and like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, because exactly. He carries a scythe. He's the Lord of the Undead. I mean, it must be just that. But I don't know why they make him Solomon.
It's really odd.
It's very weird.
Really, really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not in it. He's just completely. He's made.
They
up
could have made him
game.
like. Who could they have made him? Do you think Eggman Nega maybe?
Shari is very. He has the same pose as Eggman Nega.
See,
such a high risk word to say that.
Yeah, I'd be careful there. Yeah, could even
Eggman,
bleep it out.
Eggman loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Someone.
Who could he be?
He could be like
Blaze would have been quite a good one.
Yeah, but nah, Blaze is too.
It was like a queen, or
yeah, if it was a queen, it would work, but no.
The IDW character, what was the duck called? We were talking about
what fucking Bean the Dynamite?
No, his assistant.
Pretty weird.
His assistant. Spell
Starline.
Starline. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No.
Hey mate, don't knock IDW.
You could do hang on, I've got a character list up.
Black Doom.
I mean, you know what? Like, it could be worse.
No, look, ultimately
you could do Commander Abraham Tower.
Skeleton Dome is so cool, kind of because of like Solomon's vibe and what he's got going on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I have no idea. Anyway, yeah. Is that all we have to say about the Arabian Nights?
Yeah,
that's fascinating. I didn't bother to read about that.
Yeah, I just thought it's worth like understanding a bit. I just wanted to see how loyal they'd be. I mean, ultimately, everything they've kind of just
very because
it's not.
It's not very kid friendly.
They've gone off ideas that they presumably they just wanted to explore. The locations aren't based on the Arabian Nights at all. It's just like insane ideas that they had presumably. I think we should get into it.
Let me just see if I've got anything else.
One thing that was quite cool that I kept seeing on the wiki is that there was apparently a Sonic Runners event where like a load of characters came back.
Yeah,
which just looked crazy. Like Eraser Jin returned, believe it or not,
from the fiery pits.
Yeah, and King Sharjah appeared, and they had like I don't know what they did. I don't know what it was, but it sounded really cool.
Yeah. No, that's everything I think I have to say.
Cool, and
I think you've put it all together very nicely.
We will cover other bits and bobs. I guess that actually there is one. Let me find it because it's such a good line. There was one line I didn't play at the end that I think is
what is it?
This is epic shit. I'll play it now. It's a great payoff.
I cannot be denied by that filthy rat. Why?
I told you, I'm not a rat. I'm a hedgehog.
Fuck yeah.
Epic.
So good.
so cool. Because that stupid fucking joke, him calling him a rat, which is kind of lame,
rat.
In that silly voice is like gets a bit tiring.
His voice is not great.
His voice is terrible. But then he brings it back with that.
He sort of sounds like a sort of twat. I don't know, like a...
He sounds like a really unapproachable old man.
Yeah. Someone who just wants to be fucking unpleasant, abrasive. Yeah.
There's this thing that if you look on the title, the like box cover art, it's divided into 3 sections in the background that represents fire, darkness, and wind.
What is
the cover art of Sonic and the Secret Rings?
Yeah.
I feel like they could have just made more of that because you only unlock those skills if you progress an unbelievable
Crest
amount.
Of Wind, I got it as I finished.
Yeah, and you like it just enhances certain skill sets, and you get a cool like whirlpool that flies around Sonic. I feel like that was maybe they just didn't. They kind of had that at the start that there was going to be like a split between these 3 skill types because it's on the cover art.
I know, and it is set up as like a skill type kind of thing, but it's just.
But it didn't really. But it's fine.
I really like how just another thing about this game, how open they are. I like it when games do this about showing us the development of it and the concept art and the ideas and whatever. I love it when it happens because it makes it more human and makes you kind of like understand the process.
Because you unlock that if you get gold medals.
You get all the medals. You unlock artwork and music and videos and pictures. It's great. It's nice. And then if you get all gold medals, you unlock which I'd say is an absolutely worth it treat. You get the weirdest, like quite a very sort of sweet little video of somebody recording the offices in which they were made, in which the devs made the game, humming along to Evil Foundry and just showing like all the people sort of at work at computers like sort of dancing around, just doing so just to put like sort of faces to the people who've just created this massive game you've just played. Yeah. It's quite a nice sort of little closer to it.
It's lovely. You should just look it up on YouTube if you can't bother to get all like fucking 800 gold medals.
Which is fair enough.
But it is really lovely.
I like the CGI shit in this game as well. I always like CGI Sonic, but it looks great. Isn't the opening pretty cool?
I think the opening
when he lands and it's like a some lovely music.
Epic, as is the ending.
You know what I love is the rapid zoom on Eraser's throne when he's sitting there. It's like and then he jumps when all the gins come exploding out and he's up there. Cool. He does his big cape jump. And it's good shit.
It's a well choreographed CGI, as is the outro.
So.
And
the Darkspine
I remember I used to kind of hate the comic book style way of which is obviously a bit budget.
I wasn't keen on it. I now don't mind at all.
But I actually think they're pretty cool.
I think it lends itself quite nicely to the. I mean, obviously to the style because it's stories. But I think they can get away with it completely. It works really well.
They're pretty cool. I like the art style. Actually, it's nice.
Indeed.
And the faces are all expressive enough.
Yeah, they do, and the voice acting is good enough.
Where the hell is Sonic at the beginning? Like right at the start.
He's
in a house.
Is he in Sonic Room from Sonic Shuffle?
Yeah, that was what I thought as well. He's in a house.
I know, and he's reading. When does Sonic ever chill?
Yeah, with the Arabian Nights just on the bed. It's so strange.
He must be going through a phase.
Who's is that? I presume that's Tails. He's like crashing at Tails' pad.
Yeah, yeah.
So weird. Okay, let's do the quiz.
Should we do quizzes?
Let's do the quiz. Yeah, let's do the quiz.
I'll hit you with my first question.
Go.
I'm sure. So this is a sort of two-part. I'm sure. So one. So do you know what the Rook is? I'm sure you do.
I do know what the Rook is.
Okay, and do you know what it is? Yeah, go on, tell me.
The Rook are the large, giant, flying fossil
living
manta ray.
Yes, which you find in Levitated Ruin.
Make up the Levitated Ruin level.
And do you know what they're based off?
Yeah.
Or likely based
off?
They're
based off a mythical bird called a roc.
Yeah.
Which I don't know much about. Do you know much about?
They're from Arabian folklore, and there's various appearances of them across sort of like South Asian to sort of Middle Eastern media. But the thing that they're most of, old text, they're most known for is that they were massive birds that could carry elephants, and what kind of sort of confirms this inspiration, because it's never confirmed because they're birds, not fucking manta rays. But in the concepts, in one of the concepts in the special book, of the concept that you unlock, it says unlike birds, we made them into manta rays. So that which sort of confirms the inspiration. But yes. Yeah, no, it's fascinating.
They made them just.
There's if you look up, you spell it ROC. If you look it up on Google, there's like a sort of cool image of a fucking massive bird which is just carrying a tiny elephant.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
There you go. That's that.
Nice. My question is, how many skills does Sonic have in total to unlock?
I have no idea.
You know,
I'll guess.
Guess.
140.
Yeah, it's 104.
Oh, fine. Okay, so not quite.
Yeah, a bit high, but a lot.
I think I got a lot of those.
Yeah.
You don't. Does it keep unlocking if you hit like level 99, or is there kind of? Do you know?
No, there's a cap. Eventually, you get all on 104. I don't know if you keep continuing across level progression. I'm not sure.
Don't know. Nice. Okay. How did Sonic extinguish the flame of judgment? So remember how, the Eraser shot an arrow into his chest that bounded him to find the 7 more rings, and when the flame runs out, he dies unless he finds the rings. It seemingly disappears.
God, it does go.
You never see it vanish. Do you know, or can you figure out when it goes?
Is it when he when he turns into Darkspine Sonic?
It is. So when he transformed into Darkspine Sonic, apparently it negated the curse.
Wow. That's
because
so cool.
like all of that, so basically because like all of reality broke apart, and so the laws of it go.
That's epic.
And they exist in that black sort of gooey limbo, which is really cool. And you go, I am the creator.
That's epic.
She's freaking out. Yeah, there you go. That's that.
Are you, just as a side note, are you sick of hearing?
So 7 rings in hand.
The 7 rings in hand. Yeah,
I'm actually not. I was, and then I'm not.
Not that.
That's the main menu.
So sorry.
Do you mean? Yeah.
Where is it? I can't see it on the.
It's. Do you mean this? Actually, no. What I like is this. This is the level clear shit. Too easy. No such thing.
The choice to make that song the menu theme is a wild choice.
It is. They should have had the
fuck would you make a menu theme a heavy, pumped up lyrical
it does,
song?
I mean, it does it keeps the energy going. It keeps you hyped.
It does. It's true. I have to say, I don't mind it, weirdly, because it does. If you kind of leave it and you go off and do something else, it is like, oh, for fuck's sake, I just want something a bit more chill. It's always a relief when you go like back and you get onto the.
And when you confirm like to play it, and and stops.
Is it this one? Yes.
What the fuck?
Sorry, that's
No.
the character select.
You mean
That's
this?
the character select.
This. You
Yes.
get that, and then you go onto the book and you get this.
Yeah, this. This would have worked better, just as a more chill
I know,
vibe.
but think about it. It wouldn't have you pushing through the like crappy UI.
No, I
don't know. The heavy rock like makes you just all right. I'll select it. Go. Let's go. It gives you energy. It's weirdly good, but it is fucking overkill. And it's the level clear theme. I mean, you're like at least don't have it
and
as that.
Finishes,
maybe?
and then you go back to the menu, and it's like
And it's there again.
7 rings in hand. I was like,
Make believe, reborn. Let me play you the I'll just
also, it would have been so much cooler if that song had only appeared for the Alf Layla Walayla fight.
No, I really enjoyed the effect of having heard it the whole game, and then you hear it again in game. I guess. It's like in Breaking Bad when the opening titles play in the penultimate episode, and you've heard it at the start of every episode. I love shit like that.
It's slightly more. Yeah,
it's a little bit.
You haven't heard it like 5
But it's the same. This is the I'll play you a snippet of it. This is the Crush 40 version of Seven. So Seven Rings in Hand was written, I believe, and performed by Steve Conte, who is fantastic, and he's done works on notable things like Cowboy Bebop. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And so Crush 40 then did their own version, and I think it's just Crush 40 being fucking cool as always. Just wait. That's so frustrating.
Classic.
No such thing as fate for those who speed.
It's really sick.
That's cool.
It's fucking cool. Yeah.
Okay, here's my next question. Ready?
Love them boys. Go on.
Well, I've only got 3 because you destroyed one of mine. So this is number 2, which we've actually kind of touched on, but it's interesting. Okay, there are a number of extraordinary coincidences in overlap of themes and levels in other games made around the same time, i.e. 2006, 2007. Can you think of 3?
What do you mean extraordinary overlap?
There's like, it's bizarre because all of these teams. This isn't Sonic Team doing all of them. There are different teams making these different games, and they wouldn't have communicated.
Do you mean shit like the genies?
Yes.
How they're in?
That kind of
so
thing.
there's genies in Sonic Riders, like the Babylon Guardian.
So Sonic Riders has a bizarrely arabesque theme as well, with all of the Babylon shit,
which is really cool.
In conjunction with this game, which is bizarre.
Yeah. And then this has genies in it. Another one.
That's one.
The female companion, like Elise and Merlina from Black Knight, and then Shara. Does that count?
No, that's 2. I think that's 2 outside. This is 2006 and 2007 only.
Yeah. 06 in Shara.
Oh well, no, I'm not. I'm not accepting Elise.
That is, but fine. No. I mean, but
she's not a guide. She's not a guide. She's a character.
No. I didn't say guide. A human female companion to Sonic.
I don't think Shara is human. Shara is a genie.
Oh mate. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
She's actually the genie of the ring.
She's humanoid.
Nah.
She looks like a human.
Nah.
Ridiculous.
Not accepted.
What else?
Also, Sonic 06 was developed, I think, earlier. I'm talking about games that were developed during the same development cycle as Secret Rings.
So you mean in the same year?
Basically,
such a weird question, mate.
Same year, yeah.
What are you after?
They're fucking easy, man. This is easy. What game? You listed them earlier. Name 2 games made at the same time.
Rivals 2 and Rush Adventure?
Yeah.
What the fuck is there in Rush Adventure that does this?
Come on. It's the only other game that has something in it. Think of one of the levels.
Pirates?
And that's one of them. Think of another level. But that's the harder one. There's an easier one.
Giant plants?
What live among the giant plants?
Plant Kingdom. What? Dinosaurs?
Yes.
Are there dinosaurs in Plant Kingdom?
There's dinosaurs in Rush Adventure.
Are there? What?
Or is it Rush?
No, there aren't. No. It would be in Rush Adventure because there are dinosaurs in Rush. Oh, there
There's that T-Rex.
Oh, you're right. The Ghost Rex.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's one.
Yeah,
or
but
other enemies.
There's dinosaurs in
loser
in Sonic Rush Adventure.
Are there? Yeah, I mean, I suppose
Plant
it's
Kingdom
like,
has dinosaurs, mate. Okay?
It's like a prehistoric fungal sort of like oversized jungle.
Plant Kingdom and Dino
It's
Jungle.
a bit of a rogue.
And then
you know what else it has? Oh my god! I believe if you look at the title card of the Plant Kingdom level, it has a Rafflesia. You know what that is?
yes, I do.
Yeah,
it does. It does. Very good.
There you go.
See?
Spotted that.
Yeah, it does. And
Still fucking good.
it's not. It's the only other Sonic game that has dinosaurs.
A classic weird E101 question of like linking shit up.
It is. It's the only other Sonic game that has fucking dinosaurs. But that's bizarre, isn't it? The only two Sonic games that have dinosaurs were made in the same year. It's just odd.
You're right. There's an enemy called Terra and Triceratank and Nibbles.
Yeah.
But he's a fish bot, so he's not quite that.
And pirates as well. That's weird as well. Rush
That's
also has
weird.
all the pirates.
I suppose,
there aren't
yes.
really pirates in this game, but it is a theme. Okay, and one more. This one's easy too.
Okay. Hang on. There's one more. Oh my god, mate. What the fuck?
Well, what's the other game?
Rivals 2. But
Right. What's the overlap in Rivals 2? This is easy.
I don't remember the levels very well.
No, it's not a level. It's a character. Slash boss.
Hang on. Rivals 2. Of course, Ifrit. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. Yeah. That's weird. Yeah, the whole Iblis Ifrit thing was like potent in these couple of years. I don't know why.
Isn't that crazy?
That is interesting.
Genies,
It's worth
dinosaurs, and an Ifrit.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, crazy. I think it's very interesting.
There you go. Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
okay.
you're doing well at not being a mean cunt. Unlike you were
question.
in 3D.
Whoops. Okay. In Skelly Dome,
Yeah.
Sonic and Shara realise that
Skibbity Dome.
Yeah. Cool, mate. So cool. Sonic and Shara realise that it is not snow that is falling. Do you know what's falling?
Bone dust.
Nice. Isn't that so cool?
It's unbelievable,
It's
mate.
so
Don't
cool.
get me started on
Bone
it.
dust. It's insane.
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
spaff.
And then, have you got another question?
Yeah, I've got one more. Can you name all of the level-specific Jinn? So that's the Jinn or the enemies that only appear
What a
in
pleasure. Of course
one
I can.
level.
Rafflesia Jinn, it's the flower ones.
That's from Dino Jungle.
Yeah, you've got a Golem Jinn from Evil Foundry.
Yeah.
You've got the Slime Jinns from Pirate Storm.
They're those like slug-like
You have the
mollusk
Gargoyle Jinns from Levitated Ruin.
They're epic.
They're fucking fascinating. You have the Skeleton Jinns from Skeleton Dome.
Yes,
I think that's it.
that is it.
Yeah.
That's it. There are
Very
5.
cool.
Yeah.
Good enemies. Don't you love
Awesome.
the Jinns?
A big fan of the Jinn.
I'm
Red,
a big
yellow, and blue
fan
ones.
No, red, green, and blue.
Sorry, red,
big
green, and
fan
blue.
of them. I love their different design per level. If
Yeah.
you look at them, there's some amazing details on there.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I love them.
Like he's got gear in his head, Evil Foundry, and they've got
I know
these
they.
ancient,
They distinguish
sort of
them by
French helmets
their-
in
their-
Night Palace. It's really
their
cool.
headset.
Yeah, and their outfit. You should go through look at them closely. They're
mate,
very
I have,
varied.
I have. Don't tell me what to do.
Headset. It's not just a headset. Their entire body, their outfit, their colours, their eyes. They got a fucking eye
I know.
patch. He's got an arrow through his
they
head
made
in the
a
Pirate
point-
Storm. They're so cool.
The
They're
red
really
one's like
designed.
a pirate captain. I know.
I just want to make sure that you understand the extent.
I get it. It's
of the work
epic.
they
It's
put in.
really cool. They customized each Jinn to each level. It's really cool.
Phew. There we go. I just had to make sure.
Is bro a Jinn?
I do sort of relate to them.
Yeah, you
in
look
way.
a lot like them.
I feel like I'm such a, especially if I'm angry, the red one, I spin around and spit fire.
You're a slime Jinn. Those ones are fucking annoying.
What, the fire
sometimes.
ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great when you get them without the fire. Okay, my question 4, stupid question. How many eyes does the sand scorpion have?
Shit.
And can you tell me where they all are?
That's good. Okay, so there's two on its pincers.
Are you looking at it now?
No.
Okay, just try and do it off memory.
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
am.
Go on.
There's two on its pincers. There's one on its
And then give me your final answer.
There's one on its like detachable ass mouth that it kind of hurls at you.
Yeah.
And how many? Okay, there's one on its back.
Yeah.
So one on it. I'm gonna then add like 2 more. I reckon there's 2 others somewhere.
Okay, so
on
what's
it.
your total?
5.
What are you saying? Okay, you're way off. 15.
What?
It's got 5 on its 2 stingers because there's the
shit.
ones on the tips, and then there's 2 more that you jump up to get to the middle one. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's 5. There's 9 on its back. It's got a big one, and then four either side that are concealed by skin.
That is crazy.
And then one large one on its head, which I guess the ass mouth that you were alluding to. Isn't that 15 eyes
nuts.
On this insane mutant purple beast?
What it's seeing. Imagine what it is seeing.
Imagine how much it sees.
Imagine having 360 vision.
You have 360. You can see
it must have a massive
you.
Brain to process that amount of optical data.
It's an insane beast.
Horrific animal.
It is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen, which is a compliment. I mean, what an amazing design.
It is. He's
anyway,
gorgeous.
we can get into him later. Yeah, 15 eyes is wild.
I would want to get into
15 eyes. I know.
That's nuts. That's like a Sonic record for most eyes.
It must
actually.
Be,
yeah, it's more like Dark Gaia has got a lot in its teeth.
He's got. Oh yeah, but I reckon it's. Should we find out?
It's like up there with Dark Gaia.
I'll find out while you read me the next question.
Oh, that's it. I'm done.
That's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me try and. Oh, wait. I really want to see how many eyes this guy's got. Actually, it's perfect Gaia.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Perfect Gaia.
Dark Gaia doesn't have that many.
Did you get his? No, Dark Gaia's got two, mate. He's got two tiny ones. I think he's got 6 eyes. Yeah, no, 7. He's got 7.
Okay, so
3 on either side and 1 central.
Sand Scorpion's pushing.
Yeah, 15.
Nice, big guy.
That's got to be a record. Nice.
Okay, let's get into the levels. Let's talk the levels because they're so fucking good.
There are 8 levels in this brilliant game. We got Lost Prologue, Sand Oasis, Dinosaur Jungle, Evil Foundry, Levitated Ruin, Pirate Storm, Skeleton Dome, and Night Palace.
So I predict we're going to have fairly similar.
I think so. I've really thought about this, and I've
spent so long playing these fucking
I've
levels.
reorganized them a lot. I've moved them around. I really think this is indisputable. I reckon there's a couple we're going to probably put elsewhere.
You'll get trashed like you did on the Sonic 1 ranking.
I can't. Yeah, I got people didn't like my green. Let me just say, I stand by my ranking. You can fucking deal with it.
So we have an Instagram channel that I would ask everyone to please follow, where we post our level rankings
paired with visuals of each one,
paired with visuals
audio.
And tunes,
which is very nice.
Interested.
And people didn't like E102's placement of Green Hill at 5th place.
Rose
which is probably fair.
Sonic 1.
Just Sonic blasphemy.
Ranking got absolutely destroyed by everyone. It is wrong. Objectively wrong.
Well, we'll see about that. Give it a listen, see what you think. Okay, anyway, so should we start with number 8?
Yes.
Shall I tell you my number 8?
Go for it.
My number 8.
I'll be shocked if it's not the obvious.
My number 8.
Come on.
Is Lost Prologue.
Yeah, same. I'm Lost Prologue.
I was thinking you were going to do something wanky and put that a bit higher.
No, that would be really silly.
It'd be so annoying. Okay. No. Isn't this just so good? So it is the entrance to the Arabian Nights world. And it is a sort of like calm, peaceful, cream colour void of pages floating and forming paths and sort of mystical like blocks of text in a sort of frozen in a blue limbo. And it's accompanied by this really nice, calm, I love it when Sonic does this, so unsonic music. And it's just this like meditative trance which you're put in. And here it is. It's no percussion.
It's really cool.
It's really nice. I think it's great. There's not much to say about it. I mean, what it is it's a
training ground.
It's a tutorial level, and it teaches you all of the kind of main skills you unlock. And you unlock, so it's split into 21 sections, which are called paragraphs, which is quite cool. So I mean, you could see it as the sort of what's it called? What's the first bit of a book called?
Prologue.
No, but the like credits at the start that like explain like who it's like for and shit. Oh, whatever.
It's not an epitaph or an epilogue.
Yeah, it's a prologue. I'm just chatting shit.
It is a prologue, mate.
Anyway, there are 21, and in like 19 of them, you have to master a skill and just know how it works. And then the last 2 is like just like get to the end using what you've learned. But they're really cool. I'd like to just preface and add before we go into the levels properly. Big the Cat is in this game. And he has a total of 15 sightings across the whole of the levels, and the premise is that he's also somehow ended up in this world, and he's just looking for Froggy and looking for places to fish.
And he has no. It is him. There's no like alternative reality version.
It's just big.
It's just him.
There's no like desert big. He's just the guy.
It's such a treat.
And it's. I think it adds such charm.
A massive charm. I just wish they'd made them a little bit easier.
You have
to
to
find.
stop. You have to in order to find these big sightings. You have to stop and stand still in a which is hard enough as it is in this fucking game, in a very specific spot. And wait for about 3 seconds, and the camera will jump to somewhere nearby, and he'll be doing something stupid.
It's really funny.
So what I've done in each of my rankings, I've written what he's doing at the bottom of each one. So in the last prologue, this is the only one that has one appearance. All the rest of us have 2, and he has one appearance in chapter 16. You get to it by standing on some by some block. You just stand up there. No way you know it's here, apart from the very vague crap clue you get in the special book, which doesn't help at all. And he is just swimming in the void. And it's just so good to see. He's a lovely colour. He's very pink.
Oh, he looks amazing.
He's not a deep purple. He's like a pink colour, and it suits him well.
He's very characterful.
He's very character. I like his animations. Yeah, so each one I will tell
they
you.
Obviously, they're little Easter eggs, and you unlock a diary, and he
has a little commentary on what he's doing there.
Yeah, in this sort of special.
Yeah, I think he says like section. In this one, he's like, I think he's claims,
like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah, but he it says it must be poorly written, but he says like, I met a fairy and she spoke about the legendary blue hedgehog, and now I'm here.
Yeah, I think the implication is that
does he think that he's the blue hedgehog?
I think she thought that I think it's like a failure. I think she was like, she went for big first, and then was like, oh fuck,
this isn't him.
That is definitely not right.
I'll just leave him here. It's great.
It's so good. It's a really lovely charm.
It's a great detail.
I just wish they made it like a tiny bit more accessible.
I know. It's like a clue of where to stand.
Apparently, it was like, I think maybe games in that era. Sometimes you have to like know a specific piece of knowledge exterior to the game to be able to unlock something in the game. It's all detailed in the Prima guide, so it might have been like a bonus to buying the guide.
Probably.
Don't know.
The Prima guide's massive.
It's huge.
It's a giant. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of it to say about it. I think it's a really nice. That's what I've got to say about it. It's a really nice tutorial level. As they go, it's very interesting and it's really pleasant and unique.
However, I would say the tutorial system is one of the worst I have ever played.
I was speaking about the visuals. Actually playing it is a bit.
But when you first the curve to enjoyment of this game is so steep.
I know.
Because you first start, you've got no fucking clue what's going on. You don't know how to play the game. And then you have to play through 8 segregated individual tutorial levels, which teaches you one by one how to do basic controls in the slowest possible way. It's impossible to get a good score in it because you don't, until you have like hundreds of upgrades later, so you're frustrated like, why am I only getting a bronze medal? I did that perfectly. And it's because you don't have sub HM speed on. That means you can go like super fast,
exactly, which
you only unlock when you're like level 60. So the opening, and it says 8 levels of that where you do it, you get to the end, then you listen to the speed man, and then 7 rings in hand.
Make believe
it's
a pretty unfriendly beginning.
Yeah, back to the start. Number 2, play it, done. Make believe in what? Stop, restart. You'll see. It's just,
I imagine a lot of people
put
the game down.
Yeah, you would. You'd be like, what is this?
Why am I in this weird world? And why are there 8 fucking levels
I remember,
which take 2 seconds to complete?
I played this on the Wii, and I was like a fucking like 9-year-old or whatever. Can't remember how old I was. It must have been. I would have been like
around 11. That. Go on,
and I stopped. I was like, I didn't even get to Sound Oasis. I was like, this is shit. This is so boring. It's nothing. It's just, you're just in this weird space trying to do these fucking controls that don't make any sense. And if you're not holding it in the right orientation, it's a terrible start to the game. I don't know. Why didn't they think, just do it in one go? Just do it. It says have one level that does all of the core skills and then have Sand Oasis, obviously. Because as soon as you get to
don't
Sand Oasis,
need
you're
21.
like, oh my God, this is amazing.
This is much better.
Yeah.
They could have had about maybe 10 of these. It would make it much more condensed. You don't need one
just
to
get
like
into Sand
run
Oasis
or
as
jump
quickly
or
as
shit.
possible.
Just have it as like why wouldn't they just do that? That's really weird.
Yeah.
Just make it one big thing of like,
So
you
in
run here, then
that
jump.
sense, once you've
Also,
got past that,
another fucking problem with it is that you have to, and I remember when I played this first, I encountered this problem. I'm sure many others did. You have to. So first you will unlock. So later in the game you'll unlock the rest of the other 13 paragraphs which have different skills you get later, and you obviously you have to equip the skill in the ring, and you would expect to start
Yes.
the tutorial and they'll have it selected for you, turned on, so that you play it. But I remember one time I think it was one of them. Might have been like splash jump or something, and I was thinking, how the fuck do you do this? Why isn't this working? I'm doing exactly what Shara's telling me, but you have to do it. You have to go into the ring, find it, then turn it on, then you can play. I remember I looked up like what is going on, and someone said yes, you make sure that you select it in the ring. Oh,
it's super dumb.
It's really crap.
It is. It's super dumb. Yeah, I also once you get past that, I love the ambient music. I think it's really cool. I think conceptually,
I focused entirely on the visuals.
Conceptually, it is very interesting. It's a fragmented, torn up world of the literal pages of the Arabian Nights converted into a training ground for the newly written in character, the legendary blue hedgehog. And it's cool because it's like Sonic uses it kind of visually represents what I talked about earlier of Sonic literally using the pages to correct the narrative and its true path. He's literally rewriting it by running through it,
running on them. Yes,
which is really cool. So yeah, it's conceptually it's brilliant. As a tutorial level, it's appalling and it makes no sense in the way they've done it.
Its purpose is crap, but like visually, it's fucking good. This is the case with a lot of this game. The way it's done is terrible, but what it actually looks like is fucking inspired.
It's epic. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, hence it has to. I mean, obviously it has to be.
Obviously, it's gonna be lost because I don't know. I mean, the rest have just buckets more of things to be looking at. But yeah, so still, as tutorial levels go, stylistically, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
and I love the vibe is immaculate.
The vibe is so I could spend hours in there. It's just so chill. Yeah.
So number 7. Should I tell you mine?
Go on, do yours.
Okay, for me, this is quite easy, I have to say, because I've always been less fond of this level than all the rest.
It's the same as mine.
To be honest, I've always just found it darker, more desolate, and kind of hard and awkward, and not particularly enjoyable. And it is Pirate Bay.
Pirate Storm, you mean?
Fuck, is it Pirate Storm?
Pirate Storm.
What's Pirate Bay?
It's not anything.
That's the website. It's that torrent website. So funny. So Pirate Storm, yeah.
Mine is also Pirate Storm, so at 7th place.
Yeah, so it's fine, basically. I think what's a note about this game generally in the levels is that sometimes you do get the sense that you're running through a world that feels very oddly abandoned and empty given the types of environments that you're running through, which are often quite urban and look like they're sort of built up. And I guess that you can explain that. Unlike, like in Black Knight, they don't do that. They actually have villagers in it. But I guess you can explain that because either they've all been turned into djinns or he's rewriting history. So he's kind of stripped out. It's almost like a post-apocalyptic world where he's like stripped out all the characters. But then it doesn't quite make sense because Sinbad and
I don't think it's that.
Alibaba
I reckon they've just all been like evacuated or some shit or moved away, and the djinns. Well, because when the opening cuts happen, there's fucking billions of djinns coming out. It's like a swarm of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So they'll be everywhere. So I reckon they've just sort of scared them out.
Anyway,
also they'd only be in Sand Oasis and like
they'd be in Night Palace. They'd be in. They're all built up environments.
Be in Night Palace. Night Palace is the Eraser's
apart from Dino
palace.
Jungle, that wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, my point is, you like that. That doesn't bother me at all with any of the levels. With this one, it just for some reason it just felt like a bit. It just feels sort of sparse and dead, and I guess it is supposed to be. It's a desolate shipwrecked coast, but it feels like it's lacking something that always sort of bothered me whenever I played it. It's basically, it's just the least vibrant, isn't it? It's like, other than that one beautiful section in the full length level where you run through a coral cave,
I love that bit.
which is lovely. And I think Shara is even like, wow, it's beautiful in here, because you finally a break from the kind of misery of the like
that shit.
horrific coastline.
So cool.
But on top of that, I don't actually mind that. It's just a note that in comparison to other levels, it is slightly less vibrant. It has some particularly frustrating maneuvering and avoiding and evasion sections where the cannonballs fire at you and you have to really quickly anticipate what pattern they're going to land and dodge them. It's quite repetitive in terms of like the route that you run. Those
ones are, because they're all in it, because a lot of them are in a lap.
Yeah, it's just not
round.
It's not enough to kind of keep your interest going.
Yeah.
There's some quite hard platforming where you have to slam down and pause, charge, or jump off to progress efficiently.
I like that. I mean, yes, it's hard, but I like that because I mean, they've really gone like full on with this is a wrecked coastline. You're jumping and running across like pieces of like wooden, broken, like sort of debris.
Yeah,
and it's a proper shipwreck.
I agree.
It's been wrecked on a coast from this massive tempest. It's really cinematic,
yeah,
and they've done it fully.
That's a good point,
which I like, and the platforming is integrated really well into that. I think.
Unfortunately, I hate running around on the decks of the ships. I find it because you can't. That's
so
one of the
annoying.
examples where the fucking controls where you
'cause
can't move
you have to
backwards,
go back
and you really
hit the
want
enemies
to be
open
able
the
to
gate.
explore.
Because it's a cool deck,
and it's frustrating because it's such a cool ship. You're running around a pirate ship. It looks amazing, but you can't stop and go back without it being really awkward. And they built in, it's called the fire step, I think, where when you backstep, you attack as well, so you can defeat anything that you hit, but it's awkward. What is cool though, and is the cannon. You launch into a cannon and fire
That's
off on
really
a cannonball.
cool. And then you navigate the rings through the rain, smack in your face. It's really cool.
The surfing section,
I love the surfing section.
Really fucking cool.
It's classic Secret Rings.
It's
just doing something really like
cool.
knockout at the end.
Three big tidal waves,
and then one massive one that you properly. I mean, I've never sort of been properly so, but it looks just like it. I imagine it feels. Because once you're at the top of the wave, the crest, I think.
The crest.
Then you shoot across and down this, and you can see everything. It's really good. Yeah, they did it very well.
They did, and it does. It like, to its credit, it has a real atmosphere. I think
it does.
Like you do feel like you're running through it,
which is boosted heavily by this.
Yeah.
It's just fucking like apocalypse.
It's gnarly.
Great drums. Oh. Big. Doesn't it sound a bit like Astro Coaster?
A little bit, yeah.
I always thought it did.
It's got that same gritty vibe as well.
Very cool.
It is, and the music in this game is just amazing on all the tracks. But it's a good song. Absolutely, it's a solid song, and it does a lot for the atmosphere.
I'd say it's my least favorite one of all the songs, but like as all the level themes.
Probably the same for me. Actually,
surely, yeah.
What I also love the
slime gins.
I fucking love the slime gins, mate. They go so hard. They're so cool.
Obviously,
they're so cool.
They're fucking cool.
Yeah, I love those.
They're great.
I also really like.
I love their captain.
What, Behemoth?
He's so good.
Yeah, he's there. We'll come on to it. Don't talk about him.
Oh yeah. Those are his.
He's
like,
awesome.
men.
I like how you sometimes when you sort of make your campaign across the ship, you get to the pirate Jin, who's basically on a throne. The red one, who's breathing fire.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Which you have to destroy. That's cool.
I was kind of shitty on it, but it's a fucking cool level.
Think about. I knew you'd be harsher on it than I think you should be. I just knew you would be. It's only this low because the rest are just a knockout. Think about how cool it is. You start running across like mostly sunken ships, and then you go from a coral, a glistening coral cave full of treasures, very piratey, onto a sort of like really stormy, mossy coastline, or thin rails, swords in the thingies, onto the masts ropes, right along the ropes at the top. Yeah, crow's nest, what it's called. On the deck, under the deck, you go under it through a ship that's hull has been blasted by a cannonball. It's got this broken hole in it. You run through there. Then you've got the surfing, which goes across, and you get a view of the whole thing. You see lots of ships, and then you do one final run along the decking. They've done as much as I think they possibly could with this environment.
They have.
And it's just fucking cool.
They have.
Then they make the weather like this really intense rainy storm, and it's really
the sea is also moving so fast.
The sea is brilliant. The sea's grey. It's grey and real and ugly. It's really cool and stormy, and it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's
you're right. It is.
How cool would it be if a fucking kraken came out at the end?
Yeah. Well, like a bit like what's
potentially
happening in Crossworld.
Kraken Bay in Crossworld. Yeah, but I mean, I just make it Pirate Storm, man. Just don't call it that. Just make it Pirate Storm.
And the ships look really cool as well. They've got glowing blue windows and massive lanterns.
But still Arabian like looking windows on the ship, which is so cool. On the windows. I like Big is on. He's two sightings.
He's in like a fort.
He's right on top of the mast, balancing, and he says something like, "Oh, how did I get up here?" But like, actually, I quite like it up here. And it's written so weirdly. And then the other one, he's found a really cool sort of like Arabian Persian-ish kind of outpost structure, which is around the lap that I mentioned earlier, which is in the middle of it, and he's just sort of dancing it, and he says this will be my new hideout. I won't tell anyone. Maybe Froggy. It's just stupid. But yeah, he's there.
You know what? I think the reason I'm hard on it is because it's often annoyingly in this game. They often choose the worst part of the level to do the recurring missions in.
You think?
Yeah, like and that lap that you described. They do. Think about it. Night Palace has that fucking translucent.
That's different.
And Sand Oasis uses the like interior of the, and I get it of the palace. It makes sense. But this one is you spend a lot of time just running through that circuit, and you miss out the really cool parts of the level, i.e. the coral cave, the inside of the boat. There's not enough
spectacle shit there. That's right. I agree.
Yeah, and then you jump onto the decking, and it's frustrating because you want it to be really, really cool, and it's just kind of fucking frustrating.
Yeah,
and you're right. It's the least pleasant. However, it's fucking cool. Sonic in like a pirate storm.
It's awesome. I wish they'd had a bit more of a sort of shanty like shit as the music. I mean, the angry guitars work with the cannon blast and shit, but it'd be really cool to get like a song.
It would be cool.
That'd be great to have that.
Have you got anything else to add on it?
I'm just like, I think that's it really. I just love that.
I'm always like overly harsh on it because of how vibrant and much I love all the other levels. This one always gets a bad rap.
It's still fantastic.
It is fucking cool,
but it is just the sort of least nice.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the one that you got to push through a bit because playing it's a little bit. Yeah, as you said, the missions aren't the most inspiring.
That's very well put.
And it misses out on the cinematic stuff, which is brilliant in the first level, but you don't get much more of it. Whereas the rest kind of maintain a bit more. That's what I got to say on it.
Cool.
Number 7. Okay, my 6.
So Lost Prologue, Pirate Storm, number 6.
So far we're totally aligned. I wonder if this will carry on to number 6, which my 6 is Evil Foundry.
Same.
Knew it. I knew it.
Wow, this is interesting.
I knew it'd be similar.
One of the most aligned, yeah. Crazy since our previous complete departure.
I know. Isn't Evil Foundry fucking cool? It's described. I've seen it described as a medieval industrial sort of like satanic. I saw that somewhere. As the like fires of hell. It's a sort of industrial. It's a flaming industrial factory. And it's deep underground. It's really cool.
I've got as a summary. I wrote Arabesque castle converted forcefully into a superheated industrial factory.
There you go.
While preserving the Islamic architecture of arches, domes, minarets, and geometric patterns.
Yeah, put much more academically than mine, but yes, sure. Yeah. Don't you? Just some like standouts of this I like a lot. I like the light coming into the windows.
Yeah, the lighting in this game's really
The lighting's
good.
fantastic in this game.
Really
I know.
good.
Doesn't Sonic look nice?
He does. Yeah, of course he does. Man.
Shame it's not. He hasn't got a mouth in the levels.
No, I noticed that. It took me a while to work out like why does he look so kind of.
He looks kind of like awkward,
bland,
like a sort of toy.
Bland, but he is. Yeah, he's got no mouth.
Blonde. Yeah. But there's no. Yeah, there's no. Anyway. But his fur looks great. He's a nice texture and color.
Yeah, he's lovely.
Highlights. I love the Golem Djinns. I think they're so cool.
They're very interesting.
Steampunk, towering, industrial pipe, like mechanized robots who march back and forth slowly, don't actively hurt you.
They're useless.
They're not there to hurt you, which is really interesting. They're just kind of obstacles, and you can convert them into rails if you knock them down. I love how big they are. Oh, this is another thing. Scale. Doesn't everything seem like it's made for slightly bigger things? Sonic is quite small compared to, say, the halls of Night Palace. He's just a little bit smaller than like what this architecture is made for, which gives it a really special. I'll get onto it when we get to Night Palace, but it gives it a really kind of like it makes it a slightly more hostile and tricky environment. Which I mean, it just adds to the sort of tension of it. But he feels like he's just too small for this world.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I'm not sure if
that's
just design,
that is a really good
works.
point. He often feels like it's like in Dino Jungle as well when he's among massive plants.
He's tiny in that. Yeah,
he
exactly.
does. He feels.
But yeah,
he does feel like he's running through a world that's bigger than him. That does make these levels seem more sort of larger than life and fantastical as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Not real.
It's very cool concept.
I've not got too much on Evil Factory, but because it is just a industrial sort of factory. But I think I mean, as you said, the architecture is amazing. The hallways in this are fantastic with the arches and
but there's
the
also
doors flinging
there's
out.
like Frankenstein type, as in they've been like retrofitted into the walls, piping, and industrial artifacts and items.
You can tell it's been sort of repurposed and remade,
like aggressively, though, not like kindly. Like
no. Yeah, as in sort of there's a concept art that says something about like you can see the pipes have been forced onto the ceiling or sort of pushed in.
It's almost steampunk.
It is
like
steampunk.
Arab steampunk.
Yeah, which is fascinating. It reminds me of something I can't think what it is now.
It's a bit Mortal Engines.
That's maybe what it is. Yeah, it is quite that. The big rusty stumbles. I love the room. I love the big cylindrical room that you run down or up with the winding path. That's great. I get past those lovely windows, the light coming in from outside. Let me play you the song.
Quite an interesting choice.
This song, yeah. For those who hear this and remember Cabana Money 456, whose intro this was. Good times. I wish he'd come back. If you know, you know. But he used to put this was his intro, and I because it's such a niche song. Because if you look at the comments on just in case you don't know,
no, I know who this is.
He was a
YouTuber.
Who this is. You know who he is. Eggman was his dad. And he used to this was his intro, and because it's quite a niche song, on the YouTube comments on this song, they're all like, "Oh, this is Kobe's theme." It's nice. Anyway, this song is fantastic. I can play the solo part, but sadly I haven't got my guitar with me, so I can't. But you know I can.
Thank God.
I'll jump to it soon. But it's a really interesting song. The lyrics are great. I've got a little bit to say about them, but here it is. Weird start.
If truly free, be stopped never through all that's happening.
What is that?
I think it's a curse.
Quite cool, isn't it? Such good guitar in it. Fucking cool. Oh yeah, I love this bit. I love this part.
It's really good.
Nice
Middle Eastern twang.
They're so good at that in this. They integrate them so well into the rock, Arabian rock. It's fucking cool. Oh, good drums. Let me just get you to the solo. Here it is. beautiful.
It's a
that.
good
It's
song.
so good.
It's a very good song.
Just picture me playing that. I can.
Fuck.
It's so cool. The da-na-na-na. It's got such a
Very good.
it's such a pushing through, determined. It's really determined, this song. It's fucking cool. The song is called
then?
"The Palace That Was Found," which again, which adds to your thing of the like. It used to be something much more glorious, and it's been corrupted by this industrial invasion. The lyrics are. I mean, didn't you hear them? He kind of says the same thing again and again and again.
Who's gonna rock the place?
Who's gonna rock the place? It's based. Who's gonna rock the place? There's no one that can touch this. We're ever gonna rock the place. This evil found a rare. Altogether. I mean, there's not much. All I have to say about it is he's just like, let's just fucking do this.
Yeah.
Who's gonna replace? Sonic's gonna rock the place. He's gonna fuck it up in here. It's just, I don't know. I like it. It's got a good determination to it. It's composed by Kenichi Tokoi. The composers of this soundtrack are some big names in the Sonic franchise. You've got. Hang on, last thing. You've got Kenichi Tokoi. You've got Fumi Kumatani, who I wish would come back. She was a fucking angel, and she made some crackers. And then all of the lyrics, or nearly all the lyrics, are by this guy called Rundleby. So that's him shouting, "Who's going to replace?" And I don't know. I think he smashed it.
What does he say at the start?
If truly free, be stopped never through all that's happening.
Wow.
So if you're truly free, I guess nothing will stop you through all you're doing.
I think it's really bold to have just lyrical songs as the soundtracks to all these levels. Don't you think? It's like a really audacious decision that they made.
Yeah, but they've done it before. SA2, not all of them, but like they had it appear a bit.
I suppose. Yeah.
It's not actually a new thing. Actually, at this point, it is. They'd only done it in SA2.
Yeah, it just feels like it's
quite unique.
Just we're just gonna really double down on these like 8 songs.
It's really cool though.
It is cool.
Wait, just a little bit. The Pirate Storm lyrics are really cool. I've just looked at them. No souls can make it through.
Yeah,
no
great.
ground to stand or run. No light can make it through. No speed can break it through. Hope's drowning in this big of blue. All gone by the time it's through. No sound.
I like
the waves.
how
It's fantastic.
The songs kind of give an insight into how Sonic is feeling a lot of the time.
Especially in Night Palace.
Especially in Night Palace.
They do. They capture his.
It's almost
that was probably the
the brief.
Premise.
It's almost like you're sort of seeing elements and hearing sort of bits of his thought as he's running through them.
Yeah.
I love
sung like him.
That like weird jumbled way. I like how in this level you reverse the entrance.
You go in and out.
Yeah, that's a cool gimmick, and it's harder when you're leaving. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a generally pretty enjoyable level. As you said, the massive gins are awesome. The shuffling bits are a little bit tiring, where you like shuffle around the wall.
You don't do the trick, do you? Have you not done the trick?
I do the trick.
How good is the skimming?
You massively
doesn't it feel so good to just shoot by it all?
It's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean I also there's a mechanic in this level which can be very satisfying, where you homing attack a barrel and it flies off and then explodes and wipes out multiple gins.
Yeah,
that can be really cool. I've just written feels enormous, which leads to
Doesn't
your point.
It feels like a giant factory.
It's very good, this game, at conveying a sense of enormous scale without making you feel like you're in a kind of sandbox environment. You really do feel like you're lost within an enormous complex, which is really,
they've just
really cool.
lost recently.
Oh, so I don't know what it is, because the graphics are better in like Forces when you're flying through,
and yet it just doesn't feel
a kind of massive
big.
Eggman facility, but it just doesn't capture this scale. I think it's because you're not moving through the environments in the same way. Like that spiral that you run down, then you transition, you go through. You're running through a cave with a sort of tunnel, a superheated tunnel with spikes and popping out of the ground, and like all of this shit closing in around you.
The closest they've come, I think, is Kingdom Valley and Shadow Gens. When you shoot out and there's a big expanse, that was the first time in like a long time I've thought this feels like a big area. About fucking time.
Yeah, still.
It's also because you can't explore them. This, you can go everywhere you see.
You can't. There's something about the pacing that's just right with this, where there's
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's Sonic. They were doing something really special here. That's why I think this game should be considered one of the greats. It's like it doesn't get the exposure and recognition it deserves because of the platform it was released on. That's the tragedy of Secret Rings,
isn't it? It is a massive tragedy.
Yeah,
it was so.
It is. Thank God for emulators. Really.
I know.
Yeah, it's a fucking cool level basically, and the idea, the concept behind it of let's take a sort of subterranean castle and make it into an evil foundry full of industrial presses and units and barrels that explode, and but preserve the like distinctly sort of Mesopotamian vibe of the buildings when you run through, and you could be in a, I don't know, like a sort of ornamental mosque, and then suddenly you turn a corner and you're running through like a horrific industrial complex. So cool.
It is fucking awesome. Yeah.
Really, really cool. What do we think of the Fire Soul mechanic?
I love the Fire Soul shit.
I think it's great.
You get another incentive to replay.
Excellent replayability.
And you unlock all the shit from, you can play as Blaze, Silver, Cream, and Shadow.
And that's
what joy in party mode,
which was
and various other shit. Yeah.
I also this level properly.
I like them. They're good.
This properly introduces that like, it's in Dino Jungle as well. And the ring that closes, and then you have to sort of lurch forward.
I like that.
They're satisfying.
Yeah. And then you've got to time it right.
It's a good gimmick. It's a good gimmick.
Yeah.
And you homie attack these platforms that are held together by strings to get across the gaps. Meanwhile,
like
giant cogs are spinning in the background against that
big
like
presses
beautiful...
and shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so good.
And there's a hot pit below you of just flaming lava.
Quite Indiana Jones.
It's also quite sort of Geonosis. Reminds me of from Star Wars. It reminds me of that a little bit.
Yeah, they've got lots of good shit going on.
They do. It's very strong. Big is you see him, he's dancing on top of a lamp in the distance.
Yeah.
He's just sort of freaking about, but he's always dancing. And then he's fishing in the lava. Which is, and he's like, I'm not sure. The caption's like, I'm not sure if there's any fish here. Which is just stupid. But yeah. Yeah, no, that's I think that's it. That's kind of all I have to say on it. But it's just a very strong level, and that music gives it a really good pace to it. That makes you just press on through this like this inferno, this industrial inferno. It's great.
They really went for it with the Middle Eastern vibe. They literally extracted every.
It's everywhere. It's in the music. It's in the architecture. It's in the vibe. Yeah. It's in the sort of like textures. It's great.
And the architecture is so good. It's just so accurate.
Until we get the some of the shit in like Skeleton Dome. Is just beautiful, and Sand Oasis. It's amazing. What I mean. It's just the effort that's clearly been put in.
They take a theme and they then they translate it into a Sonic level, and you run across it and you jump across it and you interact with it so well.
We've not had that for so long.
No.
Frontiers didn't do it at all. It was, or at least it was the most. It was grassland, desert, and rock. That's interesting.
No, it didn't do it at all. It just plonked elements.
Shadows from just obviously reuse stuff. Crossworld is basically going to be reusing stuff too. I'd love some strong. Superstars was the last kind of brand new shit we've had, and that was such a letdown.
Yeah.
So like, pick a theme again and make it like and just go hard on it. It's just the potential is so rich there, because you've got preset things and you can make them Sonic-y. It's just great, and this is such a good example of that. It does it so well. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That all? Should we do number 5?
Well, let's do number 5. You go. Well, you announced Evil Foundry. I'll say.
Right.
I'll say mine.
You do 5.
I'll say mine. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Night Palace.
Not mine.
Wow, we've deviated.
Finally.
You thought I was going to put Night Palace higher.
I did. It's the kind of thing you'd like. Be like, actually,
I considered the others, and I put it.
Fascinating. Okay.
What have you put at 5?
I'm not telling you, mate. You can do your 5 first, and then I'll tell you.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, that's how this works, mate.
All right, fine. Okay, Night Palace. This is the one I moved around the most. It was lower, then it was much higher, and now it's basically in the middle. And the reason is the first half of this level is amazing.
Agreed.
Like flawless. It's so cool. You run through a purple Middle Eastern Mesopotamian city, and you fly through on a magic carpet, and it just looks epic. It's got this like magic feel to it, because it's obviously the context, as you see from the opening cutscene, is this. He's like, presumably for the reasons of security, to kind of keep it away from everything else, he's risen it off. He's levitated the entire city off the ground. Right, I mean that's basically what he's done.
Exactly.
Which is awesome, and made it his like base. And again, conceptually, the other side of this level is that because it has this kind of magic infusion, it connects to mind-bending interdimensional spaces like the transcendental, otherworldly,
the spirit
cosmic
world, we'll call it.
Spirit world, yes. That you transition into through what look like warp holes, but then also buildings like stretch into infinity, as it does at the end when you reach, like, presumably hit the entrance to his throne room. Which his actual throne room is actually a really kind of mediocre looking room. Yeah. And then you go in and you go into the spirit world, and then you come back and there's a room full of gas where the pillars like collapse and reconstitute itself. It's just a gimmick that's not particularly well explained. And then, oh god, my least favorite part of this level, these spears. Fuck.
Imagine them without saving. It would be, they're so quick. They come out of fucking nowhere.
Impossible to dodge.
They are.
And even when you slide under them, they stop.
You can't slide under them, can you?
You can. If you have Aegis slider, you can slide on them. They don't hit you, but they stop. They then freeze above you, so you have to wait for ages to get out from underneath them. Yeah, it's really neat.
I didn't know they threat as crap.
Very Angel Island, don't you think? Like City in the Sky. Or sort of floating civilization, which holds a massive secret to keep it away from everyone. I think
I actually just disagree with that.
You're just wrong.
I think thematically maybe, but like that is it. And even that loosely, it's a city. It's not an island. It's a city.
Yeah, but it's like
it's literally the opposite thing.
And honestly, the reason, a big part of the reason why I love this level is this. Good shit. It's so really good.
Time break!
Constantly.
Sorry.
Hit me with a speed break some point.
I haven't actually got a speed break.
You haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah.
The lyrics so cool.
The lyrics are amazing, and also the mood this level creates.
That song couldn't go in any other level apart from this one.
No, it couldn't, because it so successfully captures the idea of an impending conflict, of an impending confrontation. It so clearly communicates
the final stretch.
This is the final showdown.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It does it in the most epic way. I don't know what
so
I don't have the vocabulary to define it. It's like what it's doing musically, but it creates this sense of like boiling anticipation and kind of epicness that it just works so well.
Yeah.
Completely. It's epic. It's just epic.
It's so dramatic. Like the whole game, it's so cinematic.
Yeah, it is.
It has such a like, this is going to be fucking big, what's coming.
Yeah.
And this is the last stretch. And what a stretch it is. It's. I mean, I'll get into it when I get to it in my list. But it's fucking cool.
It's really cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So the main thing that I love so much is just it properly leans into the Middle Eastern architecture.
It does.
And you get a full hit of like awesome structures that are kind of layered on top of like with a magical feel. So it's fantastical. It's like the Arabian Nights is exactly what you expect. It's fantastical, but it's also like fully blown, beautiful, ornate Islamic architecture in all of its glory, with all of those amazing domes and minarets and lights and geometric patterns. It's just so fucking cool. And to see it in a Sonic level, it's just like, what? It's crazy
to run through it.
Yeah, until you properly interact with it. You run along walls, you run through endless columns and arches,
breaking paths, rooms, chambers.
Yeah, always. Exactly, and like courtyards as well. You like land in courtyards
and the carpet.
And run through.
It's just fucking cool.
It's epic. And then you get into
something really eerie about it because it's
room.
empty.
Yes, and it's like it's like a deserted. It's got this mood to it, which this game has throughout all of the levels. They all have
and
such
this is,
atmosphere.
I'd say, the most potent of that mood.
Very much
this
so.
one.
It's just beautiful, and it's like
stunning,
glistening as well. Some of the colors, the like cold purple tones and hues are, and with the moonlight shining through the massive windows over the top of the balcony.
The moon is inspired. It's inspired. It adds so much.
There is an enormous moon.
It's so cool.
It's really, really, really cool. And actually, you don't even need the spirit realm. I don't mind it. It's cool. It adds like an interesting dynamic.
It was almost entirely that.
But yeah, I would have rather stayed in the palace.
But I'm sure
I like the fact that the palace like molds itself into sort of structures and shifts in reality. That's really cool.
I'll talk more on this when I get to it, but the concept art, again, there's a lot. This is why there's a lot in it.
I remember the concept art being good.
I love what it says. I'll say more of it later. But it says they wanted it to feel like it existed partly in another world, which is so captured. And with the rooms morphing, it feels like that this palace could be endless, and go and could just be fucking huge and just go on forever, and you could get lost in these brilliant, quiet, echoey hallways.
And it has one of the couple of the extra levels do this very memorable thing where it sort of pauses the gameplay and does this really eerie, really well sound designed sequence where you watch one of the like massive rooms sort of turn upside down or turn 90 degrees, and then you run along the walls, and it's a really cool effect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So
I love it.
I found this really difficult because I think this level is awesome, and it's so like not Sonic as well, but also somehow really Sonic.
Very.
But yeah, it just lost to some of the others for other reasons.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. I can tell I'm a bit higher on it than you.
Cool. That's unexpected.
I also thought I wouldn't be nearly as high on it, but I did a real 180 with this. Anyway, okay, so that's your 5. My number 5. Ready?
Yeah.
It's this.
Crazy. That's
fucking
crazy.
Sand Oasis.
Crazy decision there, but
you think
you're gonna get hate for that, mate?
That's too bad.
But no, I understand that. That's fair. Let's hear your rationale for that.
I will explain why the other 4 are higher later. Sand Oasis. I mean, again, what a start! What a fucking level!
Such a strong start.
It's so cool. Sorry,
it's grievous.
It's the sand. It's so good. This is again, as all I say this every time with every fucking game. At this point, that like these 5 levels are all fucking outstanding, like knockout. So this 5th place by no means that this is bad or worse at all. I just prefer the rest. One opener. That song is the coolest fucking song. The lyrics. I'll read the first bit. Let the speed mend it. He screams it, and then it kicks off with that perfect. That song is the perfect Sonic plus this Arabian aesthetic. It's rock. It's also a bit of D&B with
so true.
And then down, like the like Arabian like zither shit, all in one, and the bass fucking genius, and it runs like him, and it's so the lyrics are. Which again, it captures what he's feeling. I do think you're right about that. I think all these lyrics from his perspective, because the lyrics here say, so let's be a minute. Sand in my eyes, I can't see, but I run still unfazed. Nowhere does exist, just let the speed find it. Speed Sonic blur through entities, time before they happen. All I ever knew was make-believe, go before the moment escapes. Really cool.
Epic.
And then back to down. It's so good. So that's just him running through. That's just that classic Sonic mentality. That's just like I've got these obstacles, but I'm gonna fucking blitz through it because I'm fast. And Sonic. It's so good. The palaces and architecture. I'm sure I feel like you'll have more sense. Aren't they just stunning?
Yeah, I can't.
They are. actually can't. They are beautiful. It is. This game should get like an award for just the design and research to make these accurate representations and the properly well built, designed, placed. Amazing. The YouTube channel Cifesk, I don't know how you pronounce it, Cifesk. He's good. He's very good. He does a long video on the architecture of Sonic, and he has some very nice shots of the buildings in Sand Oasis that I've never seen, because he must have some sort of free cam thing. So check that out and have a look at them, because it gives you a nice way of a very clear way of looking at it. And it's gorgeous. I love the oases. I love the sand. This could have just been a desert level, but it's not. You've got these brilliant buildings, oases, structures, hallways, sort of like little areas of greenery, and then back to the dunes. It's just really good, and you're running through it. You've got spears coming at you. You've got walls collapsing. You've got fire spouting out. It's awesome, and there's such variation. You know, you where does it start? It starts with a ramp. You run down that giant ramp, and you get a glimpse of what you're about to run into, which is palaces and big. But again, it's empty, isn't it? It's weird. There's nothing there. There's no one in it. It's all empty. It's kind of weird.
Strange quality to them.
Which is the first instance of it. Although it feels a bit more okay with it. You can kind of imagine there's people in the townhouses. You just don't see them. I don't know. I love how it ends with the giant promenade down to the palace. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Very cool. Down to King Shahryar's palace.
It's
very
a
cool.
Great level.
It's really
Oasis.
good.
It's a really good level.
The blue tiles
very
are
varied
gorgeous
as well. Like takes you through lots of different types of gameplay very quickly in a very engaging
it's
way.
a good introductory. It shows you a lot with the what do you think of the pots? The flying in the pots? Sort of do without it.
That's just very Wii.
Yeah,
it's just for the Wii.
Not a massive fan of that.
It's wank that, but you can excuse it for the Wii. Same with the catapults. It's just for the Wii.
Yeah, it's just kind of it, you know. I just think it's so cool.
But you like really some of the other levels more.
Genuinely, I prefer the other four, and I'm certain about this. I prefer the other four more.
Okay, fine.
And I'll justify why I love it. The big sightings here. Ready?
Yeah.
They're pretty fun. One of them, he's hiding in a bush. He just peeks up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I remember that one.
And the other one is he is fishing. And the picture that accompanies it is him diving into the water, and behind his body is the sun. So he looks really majestic. It's really fun.
It's really good.
He says he meets Froggy's friend here, because if you look at the picture, there is a picture of another frog who looks like Froggy in the water, but it's not Froggy. It's quite cool. Yeah. It's brilliant. I'm sure you get more to say on it. I feel like I sort of haven't said enough on it, but I don't know.
Fine. We'll come on to it.
So you should
on.
Give me some more later. Yeah, that's that. Number 5.
Good shit. Well, we're halfway.
Hang on. Okay, well, yeah, go on. Yeah. My number 4 is Night Palace.
Okay. So you put fine.
Yeah. So I'll quickly just add to that.
Yeah. Well, what else have you got to say about?
And then you do your
about Knight Palace.
I adore this level. I think it's really cool, and I completely agree. The biggest flaw is the fucking spirit world, which is really exciting when you first see it. You think,
cool.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
What is this space? A crystal hexagonal pathways with these lovely golden arches.
It's just a bit of a nightmare to navigate.
But it's actually a bit of a sort of clusterfuck of like platform spears, djinns appearing way too late. Lasers. The platform's breaking before you've even noticed because you're too fast, and you spend too long there. But this palace is beautiful, and this is the Eraser Djinn's like home. He lives in this palace, and you can see he lives in the palace because he's big. He's a big guy, and this is where my point about things being bigger feels here. The pathways that Sonic runs through, he's the height of the banisters. So it's clearly meant for something a little bit bigger, which just gives it this really intimidating sort of feel as he's running through it.
And magical.
Very magical. Very like it's just very much of another world, which is what. So the one of the descriptions of the concept art says, "Soft." How gorgeous is this? Soft blue moonlight gives the palace an illusory feel, as if it were existing partly in another world. That's so good and so true. It's so soft and misty and sort of midnighty, and it has this real like supernatural vibe throughout all of it, which I really enjoy. Again, this is only in the palace. It's not, you don't get that in the spirit world. And as you said, the music gives it this really desperate. This is the last stretch.
Desperate's a good adjective. It does really have a desperation to it.
And it's from the stunt. It's like it's really kind of pushing.
It makes you feel like Sonic's time is really running out, and that
which is what he's singing about. Must I float away?
It's in the lyrics.
As far as I know, nothing is for sure right now. For all I have know, unpowered in the light of now.
Yeah.
Must I float away? And he just repeats it again and again.
Let's go!
Really cool. The fault, exactly. The fault is mine, for it is I who gave this heart, much as dawned in this place that has no sun. Brilliant, that. Night pervades all. And he's thinking back to his choice at the start of, agreeing to help Shara. And he's not doubting it, but he's thinking, he's scared. It's intense. It's good. I find it really eerie, this place. I think this is why I put it lower first, because I thought, I don't like being here.
It's so interesting.
There's something very unsettling about it.
It's got such a mood.
I know, and I thought I don't enjoy being in this area. I don't know why, but then I realised that's what makes it so interesting and clever, because you think, what gives it that? It's really good, and it's it's the emptiness. It's the big halls with the big pillars and the large spaces, and as you said, the courtyards, the kind of round, but there's sort of like gazebo kind of bits you standard, which are just empty and feel like there should be people in here, but there aren't, and it feels very lonely and sort of and lost and just, I don't know, spooky in a really good way. And this is the Eraser's base, so he's here. It adds a lot to it. I don't know. As you said, I love the room shifting. I love the and the snapping to the side. That's just a cool idea. It makes for good gameplay ish. You have to kind of jump back a bit. Sometimes it's just a fucking pain. It just doesn't quite work. And there's a really crap fire soul that you got to get up there. Yeah. It's just rubbish.
It's awful.
In one of them, it's horrible.
Absolutely awful. The fire souls in Night Palace
sort of like
generally
time break fuckery. There's a lot of that.
Nonsense. Yeah. What do you think of Time Break and Speed Break? It's massive,
this part.
Just as game mechanics. Generally.
I like Speed Break. It was the precursor to the Boost, I guess. It's all right. I like how you can blitz through things. You can't see a fucking thing when it's happening, but that's kind of quite cool.
I think it's quite a clever, like, if you're thinking about the way the Wii interacts.
There's a lot of dynamics, aren't there?
There's a lot.
There's loads.
It's quite a clever way of making the Wii gameplay. So if you are really struggling, you can snap Time Break, and that helps you maneuver. And if you feel like you're going too slow, you can smash Speed Break. So I think it's quite clever, actually, as a mechanic to help you get through the game. I like it. It's fun.
It's a bit unfair that there's some fire souls hidden only in Time Break. I don't know. How am I supposed to fucking know that?
That is silly. Yeah. It's just silly.
No, that's kind of all I have to say about it. It just,
you said a lot.
Of real strength, I know, a massive strength is the size. It feels so big.
Yeah.
And the morphing of the walls, which is, as you said, at the end of the palace bit, when it stretches and you've got 3 sections.
It's intimidating.
That's brilliant. It's very unnerving. And you just think, who is meant to be in here? Who's this for? Yeah. It's really good.
The djinns are big guys.
Yeah, they're large. And then, of course, Big is here twice. And he says something beautiful. I'll say it again.
He does.
So you only see him in the palace, and he's spinning. He's like breakdancing on the floor. It's great. He spins on the polished floors, which look lovely, by the way. It looks like they've been freshly cleaned. Yeah. And he's hiding behind an upside down arch in another one. He says, I've quoted it
in his diary.
He says in his diary, and I think it's at the end. No, it's the penultimate one. So the picture is him in the spirit world, and he says, "I heard this is where I can meet Pisces. I'd like to meet him," because obviously that's the fish. Mm. That's great. I love that.
It's really good.
And it's him around space and all that shit. And then the last one is like, he's like, "This is cool," but I think he's like, "I've reached the Milky Way, but now I'd like to go home and find Froggy." And then it ends. It's just brilliant. It's just nice. Yeah, I like it a lot. That's it. I just think that's a bit more impressive and bigger than Sand. I love Sand. I love them both, but I think this is a bit more remarkable for me. That's why it's in 4th place. What's your 4th place? Well, I mean, do you agree with me?
Yeah, I totally agree. But
Good. That's to make sure.
The only thing I disagree with is the placement of Sand Oasis, which I'll talk about when I get to it.
I can't wait.
Cool. For different reasons to you. So we've just looked at it from different points of view. My 4 is this. I'll do what you did and play the tune, because this tune is fat.
Oh yeah.
Iconic.
Awesome.
Absolutely iconic.
Awesome.
Dino. It's jungle. It's so good.
It's wicked.
This is like a guilty pleasure stage, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's just so ridiculous. Like, what is it doing in this game? It makes no sense. The other levels make sense. This makes no sense at all.
I don't know.
They don't give a fuck.
I didn't question that at all.
No, it doesn't.
Just think, fuck it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. It literally makes no sense. They just wanted a dinosaur level, but it's amazing. Where to start? It's just the best part about this level is the vibrancy of it and how like a lush and green and exciting it is. The thing this level and Sand Oasis do, maybe other levels did it as well, but it stands out a lot, is how like I think you call them sort of spectacles. There's lots of like standout, very memorable parts of the level that really stay with you. So there's a Triceratops stampede that you've got to avoid at the start. Then you reach a waterfall and it smashes through and you fly down that. There's a log surfing level. There's plant hopping. There's a couple of routes. There's a massive dinosaur. I don't know what it's called, with the long neck, Bronchosaurus.
That is called I can tell you, it is an Apatosaurus.
There we go. That, and if you hit a switch, its neck moves onto a different platform, which gives you an alternative route above the cave that you can then go through, which is really cool. The cacti are amazing. It has such good depth. I love the effect in the background. And just the level. I like how you're running in among the dinosaurs, and sometimes they interact with you, like when you run over it, or the T-Rex attacks you. I like Ghost T-Rex, which you had no idea about.
Right.
and just the level design's fucking good. It's really varied. Great balance of platforming, grinding, running up spirals, flying through the water, flying through the air, jumping off springs. It's fucking good,
isn't it?
My main complaint with it is there are a couple of levels which people will remember because you have to do them. You can't skip them. Where you have to find eggs, genie eggs, and sometimes you have to destroy them.
Eggs.
And sometimes you have to match. There's a particularly memorable level where you have to match the pattern on the egg and bring it to a sign, and you're kind of running through this loop. That's quite well designed, but it gets really tedious when you have to do it sort of 5-6 times. That I think would be a source of frustration. I was pretty sick of it actually by the end. It nearly ruined it. But the overall vibe and ambition and just vision of this level. And beauty of it and the aesthetic and the greenery. I just fucking love it. It's a guilty. I think it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
because it's just outrageous fun. They were like, we're going to have a fucking dinosaur level. It has nothing to do with the theme, but we're going to make it as cool and like just verdant and vibrant as possible. Some of the plant designs are really cool as well. You've got like butterflies flying around. I'd say it's the only one that has almost no Arabian elements.
It has none. It actually just doesn't.
The dinosaurs,
apart from the cacti.
yeah.
There are big cacti in there that shouldn't be in there.
No, they shouldn't be there.
I'm sure they sort of like geographically should not be in that.
I love how
it works.
When you're in the cave and you go through the log, there are they look like stalactites, but they're not. They're cacti.
Really?
Yeah, they look like stalactites. When you really look at them, they're actually just massive green cacti. When you ride past,
really cool.
When you ride past there's a name for those dinosaurs, but I don't know what they're having a drink, and they look up at you as you go past.
They're called Parasaurolophus.
Nice. Do you think I was going to ask you about the names of dinosaurs? Then?
No.
The T-Rex, the pink T-Rex looks like probably not realistic. He's got a crazy amount of horns on his snout.
Obviously, that's not a real T-Rex. Yeah. I like the webbing in his mouth.
Pink.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the webbing's cool. It's just so I love how varied it is.
Just finding the cave
when you run through it. And the camera and the way...
Right, they're like sort of bluey... Oh, you're right. They're like cool, soft, rounded, bluey cactuses.
Yeah, it works so well in the cave.
Very cool, yes.
Like 1 minute you're running behind, 1 minute you're surfing, 1 minute Sonic's running around a spiral and you're dodging things left and right. It's just so varied and keeps you on your toes. It's exciting.
Isn't it fucking brilliant?
Yeah, it's epic. I love it. It's a great level. It's a fucking great level. It's really memorable as well.
Yes.
Like you if you've ever played this level, you will remember
Think of the dinosaur one. one.
Yeah.
It's beautiful as well.
It is. It's
just
gorgeous.
stunning.
Really
it's so
gorgeous.
good.
Looks even better
Don't you
in 4K.
love how, I wish they did this more, how the level like complete, you get sort of nice flybys of the levels.
Yeah, lovely.
I love that.
Yeah.
They're really, it's good. It's great shots and shit. It's nice, yeah. Drone shots.
They're big drone shots.
It was me doing
Oh,
it,
shit.
flying it. Yeah, it's nice. It's good shit.
And yeah, and some good variation of routes as well. It's I really encourage anyone to go back and play. It just doesn't get the recognition it should. It's such a well-designed level. There's so much going on.
Yeah, isn't it?
And then the interaction with the scenery is first class. It's so good.
I know.
Sonic makes his route out of the
A
natural
dinosaur's neck.
Yeah, out of the natural infrastructure that he
brilliant.
encounters.
They had
it's such seamless integration as well. It doesn't feel forced.
They plan to have no human elements. There's nothing in there. It's entirely natural.
That's hard to do. That requires really ingenious level design, and it works so well. So well. Yeah, it's at 4th place for me.
Interesting. Mine is higher than that, but I'll get to that later.
Good.
Cool. Okay.
And what a tune as well. Fuck.
What a fucking banger.
So good. Such a memorably brilliant
So that brings
song.
us to top 3.
Indeed. What's at your number 3?
My number 3. Skeleton Dome.
Skelly Dome.
Skelly D. I love Skeleton Dome. It's this is such a good
The white
level.
of the sky.
It's such a good level. It's such a strong, big. I think Sonic levels should look to this as a real shining exemplar of like of the journey from start to finish being completely different.
Yes. Amen.
You start.
I couldn't agree more.
In a sort of what you assume is snow, as we've been over earlier, in a bone dust, like skeletal graveyard of massive ancient fossils in this very different, much colder seeming environment. You think, okay, where am I? You run through it, then you go underground and you get to this massive complex of tombs, hallways, like graves, what's the word for it? Catacombs, shit like that.
Yeah.
And then you get this giant dome sort of arena with like rows of sort of benches and plants and overgrown things, properly breaking apart, really old and really underground. A massive like cylindrical sort of abyss room that you run around, and then you finish in the like throne room of the Lord of the Dead. It's so cool. Exactly. I just think about, you start all the way up there and you end up all the way down there. That's brilliant progression. That's so cool. Yeah. You're in a completely different environment by the end of the stage. I love it when they do that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
The song is just a classic good Sonic song. It's got so much going on. It uses lovely instruments and it's quick and
it's a really interesting song as well. It's got, again, very successful at creating a vibe.
Very well. Yes, very. Yeah. It's spooky. It's skeletal.
The white of the sky.
Actually, it's just the white of sky.
Oh, right.
Here it is. I'll play it to you. It's great. It's got so many sections in it. They're great. Here we go. Blink, blink. I love that little tweak of it there. Isn't that a drum? That dragging shit.
Never rest. Nothing lasts. At your feet. It falls the white sky. Never rest.
It's really nice.
Nothing lasts.
You got this cheeky bit here, just building. This is very skeletal, it's haunted. Here we go. I can't get enough of it. It's so good.
Yeah, Keegan, there's a bit that's coming. It's really good.
Which bit?
Just keep playing it.
Oh, Oh yes, I know what you mean. No, it's here. You mean?
Yeah, that.
This bit.
Yes.
God, it's fucking good.
IMO best song in the game for me.
You think?
I think so.
Christ.
Yeah, I think that is.
I love this song, but I fervently disagree.
I think it's so good. I think it's so clever and interesting.
Interesting. I'd love to what you say about it. I don't agree. I'd say it's the best like standard Sonic song in this game. It's so Sonic, and it's so this era which had so much good music.
It's properly unique, though,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it does so much.
It's such an interesting choice as to how it interacts and blends with this level.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, it's so cool. Don't you love the secret route? So there's a secret route that you do, which you need to do to get the gold medal at the start, and it's you do it by jumping out across a series of like I think it's massive like rib cages sticking out, and you go into this insane. You skip this really cool sort of underground cavern bit, which is lit by glowing fungal shit and more. I don't remember very well. You don't remember it well because I always just did the shortcut, but you run across this like spiraling bony pathway, which you assume is some sort of skeleton of some giant ancient beast. It's really cool through this dark cavern, and the like kind of you know how in a cavern, what you imagine what you can see is the rocks on the side of the wall. Is it? They're big bones, not rocks. There's just bones everywhere. It's so cool.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. Big again. This place feels every level feels huge. This feels giant. The complex underground Light Evil Foundry feels really big and stretching. It feels like there's so many hallways, and it feels like this is years of time that have passed while this is sat here and gotten deeper underground and gathered dust and and things have decayed, corpses have rotted. It feels properly sort of old and like not haunted. What's the word I'm after?
Mystical,
something like that. Anyway, I love the titular skeleton dome, which is cited by someone.
This must be the skeleton dome.
I've just seen that piece of trivia everywhere. So it's one time I don't care about whatever. It's not interesting. Good level, good mission. I the missions in this one are great. I think they're varied and they're good. I think they're very good, and they. I like the hand chase where you got to find the king's bones.
That's really
That's
weird.
Bizarre. Quite Donald Duck that.
Yeah.
The hand. But no, yeah, I like the 40 Thieves. Is it the 40 Thieves one? Where you got to hit the switches and awaken the like skeleton things.
Yep.
In the circuit, I like that one. That's good. Halls of the tombs are very varied. You know when you go through the skeleton, like with the red eye portal thingies, and you go through different hallways. These hallways are fucking amazing. The detail, you just run through them, you see it for a split second. Each hall is so different. You have one with this beautiful like turquoise blue sort of mosaic tile archways on the sides. Then you go into another one that has sort of like in Skyrim the beds where they have where the
catacombs.
Yeah, those things. Is that you know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. They're like
those sections.
Yeah.
With like gold and treasure everywhere. Just such variation. It's great. I as my a knockdown would be. I mean, as the individual level specific gins go, I'm not the biggest fan of the skeleton gins.
You don't like the skeleton gins?
I just can't. I think fuck off.
Right.
They're great design, but they're just a bit of a pain. And finally. So Big is in there twice, and he in the pictures he's befriended this giant skeleton that used to be a fish, and he's fishing in the dome in the middle, and he is hiding behind some bones in the No Pearls mission.
Nice.
Yeah, that's that. Fucking brilliant. What a strong stage, but it's number 3 for me.
All right.
What's your 3?
You're not gonna like this.
I bet I know what it is. Go on.
It's Levitate. Levitated? Is that it? Levitated.
I know. I forgot as well recently. Levitated Ruin.
Levitated Ruin. I have put Levitated Ruin as my number 3.
Hell yeah! I was expecting you to do lower than that. Honestly, good.
It was lower, but this has got to be one of the coolest concepts of a level in the entire Sonic franchise by quite a margin. Actually, it is. And the tragedy of this level is if only the level design was matched by its ambition on a micro level as it is on a macro level, because the concept, you're flying around giant living fossils that look like manta rays based on Middle Eastern mythical creatures that carry giant structures with cities, so cool. Ancient cities built into them and on top of them. And they are alive. They have red eyes and sort of teeth,
got, like, ruby eyes.
And resemble
They're
enormous
amazing.
Manta rays.
Yeah.
And you fly in between them by means of the trail of a giant gargoyle that flies around. They launch missiles at you, which look like horrendous spiky dildos. They're really cool looking things.
Don't they? Yeah.
It couldn't, on paper, it is the coolest thing in the world. Sadly, the reason it isn't number one for me is the tower dynamic that permeates the most of the levels, where you enter a tower at the bottom and then you work your way up, is horrendous.
No, it's not.
It is so boring and bad to climb up, because you often have to backstep to defeat enemies. Then there's a spring. He moves way too fast and you can't control his left and right movements. And then you have to shuffle, and then you go round and up, and it just ends up, and it slows the gameplay right down, and it ends up being a frustrating and boring section, and it's dark and uninteresting, and all you want to do is get out and see the amazing structures and everything, and you just spend too long in there. So my problem with this level is I always think, oh my god, Levitated, and you got this epic music that I'll let you talk about, because it's amazing. Only song with no lyrics.
Thanks.
It's really fucking cool. And you want to be outside and seeing the Rook, as they're called by Ali Baba, who identifies them, which oddly, presumably he says they've kidnapped Sinbad.
Yeah, they've captured Sinbad.
How the fuck have they done that? Presumably via the gargoyles. That's all I can think of. I imagine the gargoyles act on behalf of their mammoth brain that they hold.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It always frustrates me, because it's just like, oh my god, it's such an annoying game. And there's a particular mission where you have to go and free Sinbad, where you basically traverse across 4 of the Rooks who are flying in a formation.
Oh, you not found that level?
No, because you have to climb each tower, and it introduces new gimmicks that makes the ascent more and more difficult.
Yeah,
like the rope swings.
That's good.
It's good, but it would be good if it wasn't a nightmare to play. So it frustrates me. But you can't. I can't praise the concept enough. The Rook, which is what they call RAUHK, on the float. It's like a kind of.
Mate, you're completely wrong. RUKH.
Sorry, are you really?
Yeah.
Yes. So, sorry. Yes. Yeah. I remember being confused by that. So they're flying over a jungle, which is really cool. Maybe that's the dinosaur jungle. Don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They have those red eyes, which is amazing, and it's giving Sky Sanctuary in like Middle Eastern mythology vibe, which is really cool. So it makes sense that Knuckles is there as well. I think that's it's just. It couldn't be a cooler concept. It just couldn't be. I also love the trail. So in the long, the
trail's so cool.
You run along the trail,
and it gets much easier once you got a bigger speed break.
It does very much.
I remember my first player was like, "Fuck me, this is taking ages." But like speed break, you can just blitz it.
Yeah, and the gargoyle goes so fast. Very colours that
it is.
Gimmick.
Yeah, brought back in Starlight Carnival.
Yeah, and I love the section. It actually reminded me when you fly underneath the egg carrier in Sonic Adventure, the section where you go underneath one of the Rook and you swing on the ropes and you avoid the missiles that fly out of its armory. That is just awesome. So yeah, conceptually couldn't be cooler. Sadly, level design doesn't deliver, which puts it just underneath. But it is. I think it is better than Dino Jungle, to be honest, because of the just the epicness of it.
True. I think it's fucking epic. Yeah. Well, I've got it at number 2.
Oh, you've put it at 2. Oh my god, you put Dino Jungle at 1.
That's right.
So rogue. I did not see that coming.
I know you didn't, but I can't wait to explain why. Anyway, we'll get to that later.
All right. So what do you love about Levitated Ruin?
Levitated Ruin. What a place. As you so correctly said, how fucking cool is that? You are running along ancient, I'm going to repeat it because it's just amazing. Ancient, giant, living, fossil manta rays. It's so cool, with a gorgeous sunset sort of bled sky above a clouded jungle. They're going at a pace. It's windy. It's ancient. Things are being broken off, blown at you. There are fucking gargoyles everywhere. This clearly used to be some sort of town or lived in, but it's so old, so it's no longer.
It is.
Imagine being on the
ancient.
ground, looking up and seeing this fucking
You
manta ray
shit
fleet.
blood. You'd be like, what the
I probably would shit myself on the spot. It's so cool.
And then a gargoyle would freeze you.
Yeah.
Cool mechanic, though.
It is cool. The gargoyles are amazing.
They're really cool.
So
They
I
look
just-
awesome
I love it.
when you properly look at them.
they do. I know. I looked at them properly. They're great. You're running across the backs of these ruined cities, ascending old towers, chasing stony gargoyles, which are guardians of the tombs. Apparently, I saw somewhere. Leaping across ropes. It's so good. Let me just now. I'm so pleased you saved me the music. This song. Oh my God! This song is so good. It's called High and Broken, and it is. Oh,
it's epic.
There is a 3-part section in it. When you think it couldn't get bigger, and then it keeps getting bigger. It's amazing. It is. I think it's the most like emotion. There's so much emotion in it, and it's so tense, and it's so desperate, and it's so determined. But like also not. But it's also just fucking epic. Epic is the word for it. Grand and epic.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'm gonna play it for like quite a long time. So just sit back and enjoy it. Picture you are Sonic running across the backs of these ancient fossils that have kidnapped Sinbad, and you're going to get him. You're running past gargoyles, flying missiles, all that shit, high in the sky. It's awesome, and this is what is playing. That was the first grand bit. This is sick, this bit. Listen to that drum. Great beat. What comes next is outstanding. This part. It gets even bigger here. Listen to the bass here. Oh my God.
It's fucking massive.
How grand is that?
It's absolutely massive.
It's packed with emotion. It's so
It is. It's
rich.
it's just actually just cinematic. That's the best way of describing it. It's like hardcore
stunning.
cinematic
It's
music.
stunning. You must be like you're clearly looking at something just breathtaking.
Yeah.
which is perfect.
Very true.
Oh
very true.
God, what a fucking song! It's just so good. It's fantastical. It's just I cannot praise it enough.
Yeah.
Fumi Kumatani, you're a fucking legend. Come back. She's not been seen since Sonic Colors. It's so sad. She could have like saved
the
what came
franchise.
afterwards. I know. Oh, anyway. Okay, so I mean, you've covered most of it. I don't think the towers are that bad. I get it. I agree. It's the weakest part of the kind of stage, but like I don't know. I'd say they're quite a good sort of like pace breaker to just kind of. But you know, I don't know. As I said, the speed break sections with the gargoyles trail, obviously a fucking cool concept. And yes, the flying spiky deal, that's exactly what they look like, are fucking horrible. don't they just look like the most hostile things?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hate to get
Littered
your hands
with
on them.
spine.
They'd
Purple
really
trails.
hurt you. Sort of like a something that you'd find like under the sea, like a really sharp coral or something. Yeah. Very cool. But once you get a bigger soul gauge, you can blitz through the speed break sections, and they're much quicker and more bearable. What do you think of the pearls? Just a quick question. You fan of the pearls?
Yeah, I don't mind them. I think they're a fun thing to like. That helps you. Gives you a kind of strategic option as to how you're going to play the level. I like it.
It adds a bit more for you to think about when playing.
I like
it's good.
Same noises in Speed Sim. Crazy.
Yeah. Cool. I read somewhere, and I think probably the wiki, and that one can make an Angel Island parallel with this.
Yes,
it's the Angel Island of the because you meet. I mean, only so far as you meet Knuckles on a floating island. That's kind of it. But it's like it's not really,
sort of
and it's ancient, and it's like an old city or something. Ish. I like Sinbad. It's cool to see Sinbad's model, like him actually in 3D, because you don't get that with Alibaba, which is a shame.
That's true.
But you see him in his cage, kind of just like looking there
Chilling.
a bit, sort of quite sassy.
Looks fucked. Yeah.
Sonic's so punchy with him when he meets him. He's like, "You fucking kidding me, Knuckles?" He's so sort of like, "Oh god."
Yeah, but then
this
Knuckles
guy
is equally like sassy back. He's like, "Hurry the fuck up, let me out."
I like the mission to free Simba. I think I love how it feels to turn the lever and move the mirror. It feels like a really big.
That is
and
cool.
It's great, and to free his bondage rings on his gate. It's great. You said it all, but the biggest thing I just think is the spectacle and the scope and how unbelievably epic this level is. Enhanced by the music and the visuals and the setting, everything. Okay, so big is you see. This is one of my favorite big ones. He's atop the tower. He's always atop the front tower, classic. And the other one, he is on one of the gargoyle pedestals. And what he said is so funny. It's really funny. This is it to quote. He's written. It's a picture of him looking fucking awkward between two of them. He's put, "I got in line, but I don't seem to be fitting in. Maybe I need to sit differently." It's so weird.
It's great.
It's really weird. It's great. I like it a lot.
It's a great big humour.
Yeah, he's brilliant. That's that. Amazing shit. What's your number
Probably
two?
his best deployment since Adventure.
I think so,
honestly,
yeah.
he's like perfect.
I like him in Frontiers,
comedy.
but this is really good.
I like him in All Stars as well.
I like him in everything. I won't lie. I actually think he's great.
But he's
I like him in SO2.
very iconic in this.
It's just the SO2 thing, but like expanded on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit.
All right, my number two
I'm so interested.
is Sand Oasis.
I did think you'd put Skeleton Dome first. I had a feeling.
Which means I have put Skeleton Dome at number
great.
one after much thought and consideration.
Yes,
Let me
good.
just tell you why Sand Oasis is so good. So this is King Shaya's domain, which is easy to forget. Sharia, sorry. This is his
domain.
like his vibe, his whole thing.
Yeah.
So the reason I put this level second, mainly, in addition to the obvious, i.e. the sheer beauty of it, which you have touched upon, so I won't go into massive detail, but this level in particular showcases how well the lighting is done in this level, because the sort of sunset across the water and how the water interacts with the buildings and the sand is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Running through the minarets and the palaces and the sand and the palm trees and the towers that spring up out of the pillars that spring up out of the ground, and then the desert town that you enter towards the end.
That's great.
The Islamic ruins, ornate patterns, ziggurats, courtyards, arches, domes, etc. Also, brilliant integration of nature into that urban environment too, with the gorgeous warm color palette. In addition to all that, the reason I think this is so good is because it's the best suited to how Sonic controls in this game, because of the way. That's true. Because of the way that you move through the level with the wiggly paths and the different kind of the obstacles aren't too aggressive to the point where it becomes insufferable, like in some sections of Night Palace, but they're good enough so that you jump over, dodge, move around, etc. And it's just like what Dino Jungle does. It's so varied. You go from outside the palace. You start inside a courtyard, then you run all the way down the wall of a massive palace out into the oasis. Then you go inside a courtyard, and she even says like, "Oh, it's going to be much cooler in here." And Sonic's like, "Yeah, it's fucking not. There's fire jets." And then back outside, and then you're flying over. You've got grinding sections that you jump, and there's some platforming across the springs.
The grinding, very true.
And then you kind of reach what looks like the edge of a sort of fort, and then you shuffle across which introduces that mechanic. You shuffle across the exterior wall of that palace, and then it's back to some more platforming sections across the water, and then you run through the town, and you just have to go as fast as you can. And it is so fun. You can properly blitz this
fun.
level.
Yeah, you can.
And because of the variation, it's constantly interesting. Oh, there's also a great bit at the end of the shuffling across the wall section where a piece of wall dislodges.
Yeah, I love that. Cinematic.
It's a spectacle. Exactly.
Exciting.
We love that. And Sonic surfs down the sand, jumps off it, and then continues.
The blue domes, I've just noted that they're gorgeous.
Oh, they're so
everywhere.
stunning against the greenery of the palm trees.
Yeah, the palm trees are amazing.
Like the color palette in this level is
so good.
Proper beautiful. And it's kind of at sunset, so the sun's going down, which gives everything this lovely glow. Yeah. And God, it's just beautiful. There's a bit.
The spears are great.
Just before, you come off the water section, you go back into running through the arches and columns.
I know what you mean.
And with the big blue domes, they're 4 big blue domes, and it's just divine. It's absolutely divine with the green bushes that are also, as your excellent point, they're bigger than Sonic, so everything feels like everything has this kind of fantastical quality. In those massive spears that he dodges and they land
really
in front
dangerous.
Yeah,
they fucking obliterate.
Yeah, he'd be split in half. Obviously, the guy dodges them, so it's fine.
They're huge. Yeah.
It gets big bonus for just sheer beauty, this level, and then fun. Massive fun.
It is great fun.
Really good variation, and I think it showcases the abilities and playableness of Sonic out of all the levels the best. And that might be because it's the easiest level, but so be it. That is the way it is.
Yeah, fair.
It's probably one of the most beautiful levels in the Sonic franchise. I'm just going to say, I think it
agree.
is. I think it's absolutely divine. That turquoise against the orange sand and the greenery of the palm trees.
It is beautiful.
And the way it doesn't feel like you're looking at a kind of background. Like you properly feel like you're running through it.
Yeah.
And just to I don't know how to explain it, but the topography of the direction, try and imagine the route he takes through this. You can't.
I know you can't.
He weaves in, out, up, down, under, in, up, around. You can't picture where he's going, which is a testament to how brilliant the natural sort of the naturalness of I can't voice it, but the natural topography of the level design. It's it's so, that's the word, organic. It's incredibly organic. You really feel like with Dino Jungle, he is plotting a path through this environment as he goes. And you are as well as a player by extension.
Yeah. It's like there's not a preset route. No. He's just going with what's in front of him.
Yeah.
That's so true. And that's great, isn't it?
That exact quality is what is missing from every single Sonic game in the modern era.
I know.
Even with Shadow Generations, which has awesome levels, you feel like you're walking through a very choreographed stage, which gives you some brilliant opportunities to do awesome. Yeah, that feels right. To do some awesome tricks and spectacles and whatever. But you don't feel like you're properly engaging with the environment even at that point. Whereas this just. It's such a fluid route he takes through everything.
Fluid is the word, exactly. It's just so.
And it's because the integration with all of the environmental details, the pots, the paths, etc.
I'm looking at the video I cited. This level is stunning.
It's gorgeous.
There's palm trees everywhere. Yeah, it's so nice. As I said, red and green shrubbery is beautiful.
Yeah, and the patterns on the wall.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So yeah,
again, the research and the accuracy. You have to research this to be this accurate.
Absolutely.
And it really shows the effort they've put in.
And it's also there aren't many places that obviously look like this.
Yeah, they can't get much
they're
of this.
Old ruins.
Exactly.
It's not like they can go to I don't know,
No, exactly.
Morocco and be like, oh yeah, here's the vibe. No, you have to like properly work at this to create
if you compare it, I've just seen the Babylon Golem from Riders, which actually looks pathetic in comparison.
Yeah.
It looks like a really simple,
It looks really dull.
single texture. It looks really just grey and crap. This is, God, it's lit well. It looks so good.
Yeah, big time.
Wow,
big time.
Yeah. Great.
That's my
I'm
standard.
really pleased you put that higher.
These are complement each other well. Do you want to go Dino and then I'll finish on Skelly?
Go on, yeah, because you did Dino a while ago and I did Skelly just now. Okay.
So why is Dino
Dinosaur Jungle?
The full name.
I mean, didn't you just? I mean, as you were just talking about it, I was thinking, that's why it's first because it's just. It is so rich.
It is rambunctious.
This environment is insane.
Yeah.
I accept it has fuck all to do with the actual game, which is it's a pity to pick one that doesn't do all the stuff it's so good at doing.
Yeah, but it's a vibe, isn't it? Like, it somehow doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah, it fits in. This environment is you are in a huge Jurassic, overgrown, oversized, ancient jungle with massive cacti, thick, succulent stalks, massive flowers, just crystals, caves, waters. It's insane. It's so cool. And you start being chased by 3 fucking Triceratops. He's like, why are they so angry? No, actually, I think he says like, he's like,
I hope don't spike me. Or something.
Like, he refers to them as guys. He's like, he says these guys need to chill or something like that. And then he's running, he gets away from them. Then a fucking log comes out of a cave and breaks the path, and he rides it down a rapid, down some very aggressive rapids on a log sloping bit. Then you jump off, and then you're in the jungles. No, I've got it up now. And you're sort of right in the kind of deep underground, lower down bit past waterfalls. It's stunning. It's so cool. No one's ever seen this environment before. You just haven't. Like this sort of cactus plant jungly mess. It's really cool. And I imagine I know nothing about flora, but I mean the variation of flora that's in this is you can tell they've like picked particular plants and put them in, and it really shows. It's fantastic.
It does.
So yeah, very cinematic. The dinosaurs are great. I just think they're really cool.
So cool.
The pink T-Rex is amazing.
I love how many species there are as well.
Would you like to know what they all are?
Yeah, go on.
I have them all down. So there's the pink Tyrannosaurus Rex, who's got like 2 extra horns that they don't have originally, and like flaps in his mouth that are really cool. I'm sure there's a biological word for that. Something this, like the shit that you get like fingers, like webbed shit.
Yeah.
There is the big Apatosaurus, which has the long neck, which you can run across. That's so cool. Yeah. Again, prime environmental integration, like Sandor. It's in front of him, so he doesn't go right. He runs on it. That's so cool. Of course, the 3 Triceratops who chase you. There is something called an Ostroraptor, and I don't know when it actually appears, but it just looks like a raptor. It's quite big. I don't really remember when they are, but I'm sure they're in the background somewhere. The Stegosaurus, which is, I believe, that's what Big is underneath when he's dancing. So it's near you when you're in the kind of like open area bit on the water. The Parasaurolophus. Are they the kind of duck-billed They
ones?
have the lovely thing on their head as they drink in the water. And the flying paradactyls, which I don't think are real because I looked them up and the first thing that comes up is secret rings. But like they look like just the classic like sort of pterodactyl. Yes, off, exactly. And funnily enough, no, actually, I'm not. I mean, I know fuck all about like paleontology, but I mean the mission to get the pterosaur eggs. I assume a pterosaur is a type of dinosaur. Like a specific type, but you don't get apparently. I mean, there aren't any pterosaurs in the level, so whatever these eggs become, you don't actually see them. It's quite cool.
Bizarre. Weird choice.
I assume they're the flying ones because Terra, but who knows? Anyway, it's so cool. Imagine picking those ones to put in and then using the model. I love the cave section. I think that's great. I think that's a great change from all sorry, I can't get enough of the flora. It's beautiful. The massive cactus in the water, the lily pads, the giant sort of foliage shrubbery. They go really far in the distance. There's big dome cactuses everywhere. The sort of thick palms.
They're great.
The Jurassic leaves. It's amazing. They're everywhere. I love the cave. The cave is great. And it has the mushrooms and... Sorry, what are you going to say? The crystals. Go on. What are you going to say?
It kind of... maybe this is like a bit of a stretch.
I could just go on about... What are you going to say?
It kind of... It kind of mimics the Arab architecture in Sand Oasis in the form of cacti, which if you think about that is unbelievably cool. Like the big domes in the water, they kind of echo the shapes of the minarets and the towers.
I think they definitely do. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's great. It's good.
Really cool. They've like just converted the Middle Eastern city into a giant Jurassic cactus city. It's so cool.
The water looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
It
Lovely
looks
and blue.
Stunning. I'd highly recommend checking
in our
out
4K resolution version.
Oh yeah, but still, you can. It looks good. Check out the level clear like panoramas. They're amazing.
Yeah,
they're amazing. I've written down about the Apatosaurus neck. I think that's just genius to run along its fucking neck. It's cool to see that brought back in Crossworlds. You drive up its neck.
Do you?
Cool.
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
The unique gin to this is called the Rafflesia gin, and they are named after Rafflesia, which is a genus of parasitic flowering plants known for their large petals and their foul odor that smells like rotting flesh.
Yeah,
which has earned them the nickname the corpse flower or meat flower. So it's appropriate to pick them as an evil sort of gin enemy, which is quite cool.
Did you said earlier that it's on the logo of Plant Kingdom.
Plant Kingdom, yes, I did say that.
That's crazy.
That is quite cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit in the mission when you're doing the egg mission, which I do agree are a bit of a pain in the arse, but I don't know. I've played them about 4 times now. I didn't mind the last time. It's all right. You just do the same loop like 4 times. You know, it is what it is. The under the water, there's gorgeous like seaweed and glowing plants.
Yeah,
good. It's very nice. I just think this level is one of the most beautiful environments I've ever seen and ever had the joy to run through at such a pace.
And
the level itself is it's so much fun. The music gives it a real like you're right with guilty pleasure. It's just so like this is just fucking fun.
Yeah,
I'm just going to enjoy it.
It's unashamedly fun.
Exactly. It is. It's wild. Hence the song. The Wicked Wild, which is a really good song. It's not my favorite, which is why I wish it was a like I prefer most of the other ones. I
love how it's just like,
but it's so good.
It makes the lyrics are sort of pre-verbal, like they make no sense, and then it just collapses into like.
I can tell you, they are Yo, Dino, It's a Jungle, Dino, The Wicked Wild, Dino's Jungle, Dino. They are all over Rome, and that goes like.
It's so funny because all the others are like quite deep and talk about Sonic's mindset. This was just like
it's a jungle.
There are dinosaurs
everywhere.
Yeah, there are dinosaurs. There are dinosaurs.
Too funky. That's what goes later.
It's so funny.
It's too funky. It's just so. It's just cool. I love to know why they did this, and I like how they had a conscious choice to make no human architecture, to make it an entirely natural environment, which makes it so good to run through. Big is under a dinosaur dancing. He looks like he's really panicking under there, and then he's hiding behind another bush. Nice. Very cool. This environment I think is one of the most amazing environments I've ever seen in any game ever. Wow. And that's why. And the reason it's first is that it's also a joy to play through. And I think the integration and level design is top notch. It's knockout. And so I think it has to go first. I got the most sheer joy and just I don't know. I just thought this is such a thrill, and I so admire the ambition and the boldness to make it what it is. So I think it's number one for me.
They've got to remake this game. They've got to just stop dicking around and just give us a fucking Xbox One PC full 4K.
Be such a rogue move,
remake of this game.
I wish they just had bigger budgets so they could have all this shit going on at the same time. It'd be so good. There you go, my number one.
Very good. So
give me Skelly Dome.
Skelly Dome. This level is just full of intrigue. Your point was very good and is exactly what I said as well, where the progression of the movement through this level is a triumph. Just to draw your attention to how stunning and interesting the exterior and unusual. The one big thing I love about this level is just how imaginative it is. It really feels like you're running through a story.
Yeah, very true.
Which is, there's just so many elements that add intrigue. The plants in the kind of desecrated bone graveyard, skeleton graveyard of mammoth animals are really interesting.
They are.
At the beginning.
Yes,
They've got a really cool color palettes. They're kind of purples and blues and blacks and interesting shapes. And you can homie attack skulls, which Sonic just shamelessly smashes.
Yeah, destroys them.
So you move through the desiccated boneyards of what were once the mines of King Solomon, the legendary skeleton king.
The mines of that's
How
a word
cool
I'm
is that?
forgetting. It's amazing.
Yeah, the legendary skeleton king, where bone dust falls as snow. Then you enter a cave network. Then you enter which leads you to the skeleton dome itself, which is annexed with treasure rooms full of spilt gold. Unfucking believable. The giant
awesome.
skeletons littering the graveyard at the start made me think, are these the dinosaurs that have gone extinct? That's probably nonsense, but it's quite a cool little link.
It's good.
It's such an epic landscape where you run along the rib cages of these skeletons, and like you break out into that nice space. And as you said, there's alternative routes, which is really, really cool. The cave network is easy to miss if you take the shortcut, but it is really beautiful, especially the large room with the water and the large fungal fungi on the really tall fungi structures that line what are massive bones and rib cages that look like they're kind of growing out of the water. Really fucking cool. And then the skeleton dome itself. In the main level, you actually just run straight through it, but then you revisit it and you run around it. Some people find that frustrating because unfortunately it's one of the levels that suffers with the need for backward movement occasionally. If you miss something, you have to kind of go laterally, and that can be really painful. And yes, the skeleton djinns are a pest, but I like them. I think they're cool. I like how they activate as you get near them and spring themselves and like draw themselves together. I think the missions in this level are some of the more interesting ones, where you literally collect the bones of the skeleton king so that he can reassemble himself.
That's great. I like that because he was blown apart by the 40 thieves. Yeah.
Yes, because he was blown
resurrected by the. It's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to another element that I really love, which is King Solomon himself, who is just an extremely interesting character,
isn't he?
Who, as we said at the start, exists not in the OG book or he's not based on anyone. He's just integrated into this game presumably for the purpose of the game and progressing the plot. And he says some quite cool things where he's like, looks at Sonic and he's like, oh, I can see death coming. He looks fucking cool when he's reassembled. He's got a staff.
He's very tall.
He's huge.
They say his staff was used to. What did he use it for? Keep talking, I'll find it.
When he's just a head, he's also an extraordinary looking thing. He's got these like bone horns that come out of his temples, and this like afro jellyfish bit at the bottom of him. He's a really strange looking guy. Yeah. I love that you're in his realm. It's just incredibly cool. And the skeleton dome itself is again an infusion of Middle Eastern architecture and a graveyard in the middle of it, and bones, massive bones that litter it with giant torches. You know what's really impressive is just the sheer imagination, because this is a world that's been conjured out of nothing. There's no source context for this. They've put together all the elements. They've built this whole narrative around this skeleton king who has some kind of mysterious control over the djinns.
I can tell you what that is, actually. His King Solomon's staff is believed to have been given to him by God, and it grants him the ability to enslave devils and command the supernatural, including speaking with animals and jinn.
There we go.
So there you go.
Perfect. So he's kind of he's not good or bad. He's just kind of part of the world.
Yeah.
He
seems to be like sort of functional.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of it. It's just.
He's great, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. He's
very interesting, and I like how big a part of this level he is. It's got so much. That's one of the main things I always look for in Sonic levels, as we know, is that like additional storytelling narrative, and it's so rich in this.
Very true.
Because of all of the, and it's things that aren't even like, yeah, Shira and Sonic kind of mention stuff as they run through the level, which adds to it and makes you think about it. But so much of it is just left to the viewer to be like, oh wow, we're now running through an underwater cave with mushrooms and rock algae and bones that have been constructed in a bridge, and what now we're in the dome. Is that and then so I think Sonic says this is like a tomb. Is it a tomb? Is it a giant graveyard? Is it? And then you've got all the spilt gold that's presumably his hoard that he's keeping. And as you said, I love how you descend. So there's a real sense of moving towards an end goal as you start on the outside, go in, down. It's so varied and good.
It's fucking cool.
It's fucking cool. It's real. And
awesome.
Just in what in like try and categorize this in terms of the sort of standard archetype of Sonic level. What is it?
You saw I was struggling to sort of like it's not haunted, but it's got elements of this, and it's got so much. It's got elements of it.
Is it a snow level? Not really, because it's bone, not snow. Is it a haunted level? No, because it's fantastical and it's a tomb. Is it a tomb level like a pyramid cave? Not really, because it's like a mine as well. There's so much going on.
Yeah, exactly.
That all of which has just come from the genius imagination of the people who designed the game.
Who are just
well, we saw them in the vid. They're just the best.
They are genius. They're so good.
So yeah, I won't play it again, but fucking hell, that song is amazing. It adds such an element of intrigue and interest and quirkiness as well.
Move, yes,
real dynamism and personality to it.
Yes.
And it's got this like remove that's quite interesting, where it gives you this whole level of kind of levity that it doesn't deserve, which creates this. It gives it a levity that is disconnected with the like bone graveyard vibe. You could have expected it could have lent in and done a really kind of spooky theme that's haunted, but instead it's got this kind of like funky, plinky plonky, like quite light dynamic movement piece that it's just genius. It works so well.
Yeah. I agree. It's completely fair to put it first.
Yeah. Well, Dino Jungle was a happy first place as well. It's great.
Yeah. Nice.
Beautiful. That's good. Cool. That we started off pretty aligned and then split.
Yeah, always the case usually.
It's cool. I like how we pulled out different focuses and aspects of both.
Indeed.
Should we smash through the bosses then and wrap up?
Let's. We have 5 bosses to do, and they are as follows. In order of appearance.
These bosses are crazy.
These bosses are fucking wild. They are so cool. Especially their corresponding tunes. So there is the Sand Scorpion, Ifrit Golem, Captain Behemoth.
I think it's Behemoth.
No, it's been confirmed to be Behemoth.
Right,
it was a bit of both, but now it's Behemoth. It's based off that word, obviously. But yeah,
fine.
Eraser Jin and Alf Layla Walayla,
which literally means
1001 Nights.
The ancient Arabic, whatever. Insane. Yeah, 1001 Nights.
What's number 5?
What do you think?
Eraser Jin.
Yeah, cunt.
Yeah.
He's just so fucking lame, and it's quite an annoying boss. I really like the arena. You run through his like a single long. The
arena's
hallway.
really cool. It's a really atmospheric hallway.
It's very cool.
I agree.
And yes, I know you love the tunage.
He's bottom for me as well. He's pretty fucking tough actually.
He's hard.
He's really hard.
He is just like pathetic. Like he's just such a cunt. He's not even like evil enough to be cool and be like, oh, you don't respect him.
Exactly.
He's just a cunt.
He's just an arsehole.
And in that way, he's a pretty shit villain. I would actually go as far as saying he might be one of the worst Sonic villains ever.
I think so. Agree. Yeah.
There aren't that many because Eggman is often the one.
No, but
he's obviously the goat. But he's just a really like nasty, just
dick.
He's just a dick, and he's not cool dick. He's just a dick.
No, yeah.
He's not like Black Doom. He's like fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Actually, that kind of says enough. Compare him to Black Doom.
Yeah, he's just a lame. He's
just like a lame twat.
What does he want? His motivation is he like gave everyone wishes because he's the genie of the lamp, and he got fed up with it because he was
jealous and upset.
Yeah.
And now all he wants to do is just sort of
eradicate.
It's just wipe everything out.
It's just pathetic.
It's a really sort of like
he's
dry.
abusive and dickish to poor sexy Shoira.
Exactly. I didn't know you like gins.
Oh, and she's the genie of the ring.
No, she is a gin as well.
She's a genie of the ring.
Right, mate. Look up gin. She is the first one that you see. Shara, an example of a unique gin.
Okay, fine. She's a unique
gin. Is a spirit,
maybe yeah, whatever. Maybe I guess
Anyway.
Eraser Gin is also a gin, isn't he? So yeah, fine.
Yeah, hence the
whatever.
fucking
Yeah,
name.
obviously.
Yeah. He's just a wanker.
No!
Yeah, he's a
complete twat.
massive knob, and he will have a tiny cock.
He will have a miniature cock.
Yeah, like minute.
Exactly.
Minute cock.
Like a micro penis, probably. Yeah. Probably wider than it is long.
Yeah, chode.
Almost definitely.
He's a king chode.
He is a chode. He looks like a chode.
He's just, he's so not hot.
No, he's just not.
Like his hair is moronic.
His hair is fucking stupid.
He's like an anime character gone so wrong.
Yeah, they've just like really fucked up.
And I hate his skin.
I do like his razor though. I dig that.
Yeah, his tools.
I actually just quite like it.
Kind of cool. But.
Yeah, he's just anyway.
You like the song though?
Yeah, he's left-handed.
Yeah, mate, I know he's fucking left-handed.
So funny.
It's so pathetic.
What freak noticed that?
I don't know. It is weird.
How good is this song though?
Every single drop of all you got. Every single drop
Hardcore
of all
as
you
shit.
got. Every single bit of all you have. Every single bit of all you have.
Sick. Away.
Every single bit of all you have. Every single bit of
I love
all
this
you
bit.
have. Makes the only sense as it all awaits. To step in, hope, kick time away. If this is what it takes to be, stopping this anomaly. Turning every destiny into what it has to be. Just this once is all I ask to be. Turn me into stone if it can't be done. If wrong starts walking, we all come running. There shouldn't be a fight that is all in vain. Makes the only sense.
Fuck yeah.
It's cool.
So cool.
It is cool. It makes him a little bit cooler.
It does. It's that brilliant like 2000s rock with that attitude in it. It's just like it's a Linkin Park kind of shit.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a painful.
Yeah,
but
I've said the same shit. Bang a tune. Love the hallway. He's tough and he's a twat.
Yeah, he is just a cunt. He retreats he reverses very down this unbelievably long hallway, and you like have to wait until there's a gap in his slashing. Basically,
it's a tiny.
It's just
spot
is
well.
minute.
It's, really
it's
hard,
frustrating, and he is just a cunt. He's not inspiring.
Yeah, agreed.
And thank God Sonic made the brilliant decision to basically eradicate him from existence.
Remove him from
Good
existence.
man.
Yeah, it's wise. Yeah.
What have you put at 2? 4, sorry.
I've got Alpha Layla at 4.
Have you? Oh, I put Behemoth.
What?
Yeah.
You surprised me.
Why? Like the boss itself isn't that good. It's just the tune.
boss is great.
It's not. It's actually really annoying.
Look at him.
Yeah,
He's so cool.
He's amazing. I know. How could you put Alf? You think that clam is better than Alf Layla Walayla?
Fuck yeah.
Nah, like Behemoth is he's oddly forgettable. I think.
Look, we'll get to him later. Okay.
No, I'm going to talk about him.
Oh shit,
mate.
he's your 4th.
Yeah, he's my 4. He's a giant.
forgot.
He's a giant clam, right? He's like a.
He's so cool.
He's got 2 large flaps.
He's got outstanding design
and a sort of beard. Yeah, he's a very unusual looking thing. He's bizarre. He's got horns.
He's got
that you have to homie attack.
Enamel horns.
Yeah.
That must tunnel inside him.
Yeah, that you have to jump up and look like you're kind of dry humping aggressively until.
and you sort of jack it off
meanwhile,
until
you're
it comes
jacking
out.
off with the Wii remote until until it pops out. But you have to jettison it before he electrocutes you, which is super annoying. I like
but you've
how
got
his
plenty of time for that.
I like how his like clam hands have fingers. He has fingers.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting looking thing.
He's an insane design.
It's like a shell.
He's an amazing sea
helmet
monster.
crab.
He's
urchin.
amazing.
He doesn't actually
He's got elements
die.
of everything. No, he just gets sent into the sea, and then his shit grows
It's
back.
like,
eventually.
cheer up, the horns will grow back.
That's really
It's a
weird.
great line.
I love his intro. I'll get to him later, but I love his intro when he warps in. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, he's iconic, but I think everything else is more iconic.
No, mate, he's a legend or whatever.
He's miles above a Razor Jin. He's not a legend.
Obviously.
He's such a weird guy. He's just a like floating clam with arms. I agree, he's a cool design.
I'll gas him up later.
All right, fine. Why have you put Alf Layla?
I mainly criticise the actual boss fight.
The boss fight's AIDS, yeah.
Just fucking fuck.
That's fight mechanics are a bit AIDS. It's painful.
It's really tough.
You have to wank with the re-remote to
You
charge up his
literally
energy.
do.
And then if you do it really fast, he'll throw his vast ball at you.
Yeah.
And then you can open
and then you
attack.
beat up his disgusting heart.
Oh,
let me tell you
crazy
how
design.
amazing his design is. Does he not look like a bad drawing? How perfect is that?
That is
what
it.
he becomes.
That is it.
It looks like some kid drew a fucked up like monster with 6 arms, a torso that's way too big, a waist that doesn't exist, massive like thighs, and then sticks for it's such a horrid mess.
He's
hideous. It's very Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yeah.
which is always good for design.
He's a steampunk nightmare.
He is a terrifying looking thing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
There's something really grotesque about how.
Do you enjoy what I sent you of him?
Yeah. Like
I cut him out and sent it to you.
It's crazy.
He's got light, like steam bursting out.
Yeah,
out
but
of his
there's
sort of
something
pipes.
really grotesque about that when they when you do damage to him and they kind of explode. It's fucking horrible.
It looks like it would stink. He's a proper like horrid mutation.
He's a nightmare.
Which is a genius design. It's very cool.
Yeah. So why have you put him there?
Because fighting him is horrific.
Yeah, it's not a good fight.
I hated it.
You are Darkspine Sonic, which is
wild,
epic, but it is a pain.
There's something about him that's quite like sort of KOTOR 2. I don't know what it is, but there's something about Darkspine that is quite KOTOR 2. Do you know what I mean or not?
Not really, no.
I've written that. I'm not really sure why I've written that.
Sadly not. If you can one day define that'd be great.
Someday. I love that he's like, I am the Arabian.
Yeah. He's full of ego and idiocy and hubris.
He is the fucking story, but like personified as a mess.
Which Sonic
really cool.
destroys and
Exactly.
rewrites which is perfect.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the final line's amazing. Try running a better story. Fucking cold.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's so cool.
Darkspine
that's so cool.
Darkspine is so good. He's actually the coolest. I think he might be one of the coolest. It's a shame because he'll never come back because he's only in this weird.
The guy said like it's really hard.
He was a result of 3 specific world rings at a particular moment in this universe.
He also exists. Yeah, exactly.
So like, when's he going to come back? It's the purple white stripe is such a cool design.
It's amazing. It was nice to see it in Dash at least.
Yes, true.
But I mean, yeah.
Alf's an epic. I've put Alf Layla in 3rd place. So I've done Eraser Jin, Bearmoth, Alf.
He's a really good final boss, isn't he? He's really cool
in terms of how he looks.
Great
yes,
period. Yeah, it's visually. He's in that great period where they just had fucking giant monsters and sort of like astronomical beasts.
Nothing
as the final boss.
Nothing
amazing
goes as hard as Solaris.
No, agreed.
The
I'm
god
looking forward to talking about that
of space and time,
who rules over literally all existence.
Yeah, nothing,
and threatens everything.
Yeah,
he threatens to bring nothing upon everything. It's genius. Anyway, we'll get to him later.
But yeah, Alf is he's sort of the equivalent. He exists. His threat is
he's the Arabian Nights version.
He's
of that,
terminating the entire Arabian Nights universe and rewriting it in his image, in his horrendous image,
which must be the worst.
I think it's quite complex what the chemistry that actually happens to him. I think he does reach
he's starting to form.
He starts off as an amorphous, horrific purple blob.
But because of
Sonic takes the rings.
Because Sonic, it's the prophecy, because Sonic was the one who brought him the rings. He must be the sacrifice, and he wasn't killed.
And he wasn't killed.
So because he wasn't sacrificed, it went wrong.
It's incomplete.
But regardless, he still like carried on or something, and so it put him into this hideous form.
Yeah, which is
great.
Really cool. Again, amazing conceptually.
Classic Eraser.
Executed in quite a weird way, but amazing concept.
Yeah. Okay, that's your third. My third is Sand Scorpion.
Oh, cool. As we've just discussed how awesome it is, like 15-eyed bloke.
Don't you love this? I love how Seven Rings in Hand plays over there. It's really cool.
Oh, it's epic.
The final boss.
Yeah.
This song, this is up there almost entirely for the tune. No, that's not true. but he's a giant purple scorpion out of nowhere. Nothing. It's random. He's just fucking awesome, and he's got an amazing design. The fight's piss easy, and I like the place that you run around. It's like a big, quite sort of open area. It's quite cool. It feels like the outskirts of Sand Oasis. It's nice. And he comes out of like a sort of sand whirlpool. It's really cool. This is a song, and it's called Poison Spear, and it's just awesome. It's just shredding shit. Here we go. I love this bit. How cool is that?
It's really good.
That's just brilliant. It's
a fat song.
It's fat is the word. It's my appreciation for the boss themes of this game has
Just
like skyrocketed.
I think the design of the bosses of this game are epic.
This is the first
so innovative
of like. They do it a lot now with Frontiers and Shadow Gens, with the bosses getting a lot of attention and each one being a big deal, and it has its own vocal song.
Yeah,
this is the first time, because they're all big things. The bosses, they're all really like it's a big thing to fight these guys. You know, it's not just your run of the mill Eggman mech. It's a proper.
Well, it's refreshing to not fight any Eggman mechs in this game. It's all organic. Like oddities, but like what is Sand Scorpion is kind of a bit of an outlier. Like, what is he? It's never explained.
He also has the.
Is it a djinn?
It has the World Ring of Joy inside it, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, is he a djinn?
He's just a happy guy.
He's just a happy guy.
He's just running about.
He doesn't look happy.
No,
is it a djinn? Like Behemoth is a djinn. He's like the captain freak. Do you know? Like, are the djinns?
No idea.
What are they? Are they the original residents turned evil, or are they?
No, they're
evil
just,
spirits that were locked in the spirit realm.
Quote, they are a race of diverse magical spirits from the world of the Arabian Nights, ranging from lesser servants to humanoid reality warpers. What the fuck?
I guess that's the party.
The only known ones are Eraser Jin, Shara, Uhu the Wind Genie. my Uhu theory. I forgot about that. I'll tell you later. The green, blue, so green Majin, blue Majin, red Majin, Rafflesia, Gargoyle, Golem, Slime, Skeleton, and then of course party mode, Creamagin and Premagin.
Nice.
It is possible the Captain Behemoth is Jin due to the Slime Jin coming together with red to form him, but there's nothing about Sand Scorpion, so who knows? But he's probably some sort of, I mean, the Ifrit Golem is some sort of spirit, so like I guess he is.
The Ifrit Golem is a Jin. He says he's a massive fire Jin.
Oh yeah, it's not.
So I think he must be. Sand Scorpion must also be.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, there's not much about him. Anyway, yeah.
So he's your 3.
That's my 3. Let me just look at the sounds. Is there anything that explains what he is?
He's horrible.
It just says he's a horrific design. He's amazing. It just says he's a giant purple scorpion.
I'm sorry. He has an abdomen that is also a mouth and an eye that attaches and chases you.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
I know. No, there's nothing about him. He's pretty mental. He's really cool. My number 2 is Ifrit Golem.
Yeah, same.
So you got Alpha first? Oh,
no.
Who the fuck is first? Sand Scorpion.
Yeah.
Wow, mate.
Big time. He's epic. I put Ifrit Golem at 2 because you again, like, amazing design. A mechanical nightmare with a massive head. If it is no child. There's a golem in SA2, isn't there?
Yeah, the egg golem.
Yeah,
it's
so
the sand thing. It's very similar. And you run around a circle to fight it. There must be some sort of pairing there. Remember? In SA2, in the pyramid, you run around arena
there is,
to fight. And you hit his head. There must be something. Yeah,
it is. They're related.
A lot was inspired by SA2 in this game.
Yeah.
The big music, the bosses. Yeah,
big time.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare boss.
No, he's not. The boss is decent.
He's a bit painful because there's a lot going on to avoid. That's quite difficult. Yeah, once you hit his fingers and you can slide up his head and hit him on the head, it's cool.
The red ring of anger is inside him. He's furious. He's a fury. He's consumed by rage and he lives in a fire pit. It's awesome.
He's interesting.
His song is amazing. Like I said, the boss themes in this game are amazing. Listen to this. Fucking cool.
That's how it started. The good not do. The good not do. The good not do. The good not do. The lies inside you. The would not do. The dwells inside you. The good not do.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I think the lyrics are about Sonic talking about him.
Possibly.
Saying like, because I guess it's talking about what's inside him. Sorry. And it's like, let me just find it. Here we go. They are, that's how it started. The could not do, that lies inside you, that dwells inside you, the could not. Yeah, so like, the attitude of like anger or negativity is a bit weird.
I like how
that's all it says.
You meet this guy and then go to a different level. Yeah. It gives it this non-linear narrative. That's quite cool.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And you can't fight him yet because you haven't got the water ring. No. It's quite cool.
So yeah, I put him and then I put Sand Scorpion because it's an easy boss, which is great. It's what I want.
Weird
and
choice.
But he's so cool. His design is so epic. It's like if you try and design the most like hardcore monstrous version of a real animal.
That's true.
You come up with that.
And then make it purple.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's great. Yeah. And yeah, like Behemoth he's an icon, but no.
He is so cool.
I hate that boss. It's really boring.
I love that boss. I think it's a really good boss. The water's good. I like the horn. I like the chase. It's got motion to it. I mean, the tune I think makes it for me. Of course, it's got Blue on the Run.
So
I'll play it in a second. But I'm sorry. How cool is his design? He's the ultimate like sort of smaller sea monster. He's made of crustaceans, clams, sort of a.
He is a mollusk amalgam.
Mollusk is the word. He's such a mess, and he's beautiful. He's brilliant. Yeah. He's got great flaps. He's got a good face. He's got a captain's hat integrated seamlessly into his shell.
Yes, good.
And I love that he's the captain of all the slime shit. And you face him.
Yeah, he is.
It's really cool.
He's good.
I like how. Also, apparently, he's made the waves stormy, and he's controlled the storms.
He's influencing the weather.
I think it's like he had the world ring, and he like didn't. I think it's like he didn't. I think he fucked it up, and so now they're all stormy. It wasn't like it was on purpose. So I think so. I like how he has an intro. He's the only one that has an intro. He warps into place from his ship. He goes and then lands on the path in front of him. It's really cool.
He's very cool.
And like roars at you or something. And then this is the song. How good is this song? I know you like this song. It's fucking amazing. It has such a pace to it. It's got an amazing bit in it as well. Let me find it. It's got I'll show the piano and the drum. It's the bit. listen to this. Yeah, listen to this. It's a fat drum. It's an aquatic drum. It's fucking awesome.
I might make a switch. I want to switch. I know
Never-
it's
never done
unprecedented,
in the
but
history
I've
of
got to do
pod.
it. So I was wrong.
What are you
I
gonna
want to
switch?
switch Ifrit Golem with Captain Behemoth.
Oh, wow. Why? I've sold you.
You're right. You were right. He's epic, and he's better than Golem, so he's going down.
Good. I'm pleased you've done that.
Yeah. So my new order is Eraser Jin, Ifrit Golem, Alf Layla Layla, Captain Behemoth, Sand Scorpion.
It's going to be a nightmare. to
Yeah,
edit
good
that.
luck with that, mate.
Lucky me.
But it's got to be done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Behemoth is awesome, and his tune is
You
fat.
should have thought about that before.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Isn't he fun? He's, I mean, there you go. What more? How good is that drum?
I love his mollusk beard.
Great. It sounds like a drum from like the bottom
It's
of the ocean.
really cool.
It's got such a
So
cool
it's
dong to it.
Standout track.
It is. It's amazing. And it's got such a good beat. This soundtrack, I can't get it. The percussion, the bass, the singing, and the guitars in this,
It's a
and the
super good
keys
soundtrack.
are outstanding. They're top notch.
Agreed. What's your theory about Uhu? He's the guy you race in like a level.
Yeah, it's like race. Uhu
There's
the Wind
one
Genie.
level per
It's just like a
zone.
time trial guy. He's
a blue ball.
You know how Shara becomes a pink sort of like Tikal-esque spirit. He's a blue one. Maybe he's Sonic's counterpart in this world.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
Because
I like that
all
a
he
lot.
does is run fast. you
He-
know?
does he
As
say anything?
No. You just race him.
He's like
just a
Sonic.
fast
He's like
spirit.
Sonic Spirit.
Because he's blue and he's male, and his alignment apparently is good. That's what it says here. Yeah, and you only and his only characteristic is that he's fast.
Yeah,
maybe
that's-
he's some sort of like parallel.
That's a great idea. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's nice.
That's really nice. Yeah, well done.
Good.
Love that.
Thanks.
Big fan.
Yeah. There you go. Bosses.
Good
Done.
shit.
How good are those bosses?
They're epic.
As bosses go, they're
And again, like
top-notch.
this playthrough massively rejuvenated my
I completely
appreciation.
agree. I had
for them.
no idea how cool they were.
I had forgotten about them, to
Me
be
too.
honest.
Same.
They were a surprise.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Good shit.
I think the only thing we haven't discussed really
Party
is
mode.
party mode. We really don't need to dwell too long on that.
No,
It's
let's not.
basically
like Shuffle Part 2.
unbelievably well
It's
developed.
so complex.
It's perfect for the Wii, so it was done very well for
There's
that.
so much of it.
And it's just a very extended party mode. It's like Mario Party, right? Is that the game?
Yes,
It
very,
has
yeah.
lots and lots of mini games which integrate environments that you've seen. So there's Dino Mini Golf. There's a shooting range one. There's
The shooting range
really
is through this
random,
door.
like you have to play a violin and match the movements of the gin. There are lots of movement-based, momentum-based ones.
Creamer Gin.
Creamer gin is the chestnut gin, and
No, that's-
is that Prima
Yes,
gin?
you're right.
No,
Sorry,
I'm
you're
right.
right.
So it's this massive red chestnut.
I won't lie, I get kind of upset by wait. Is Creamer Gin the like
Creamer gin is the like humanoid one.
he kind of upsets
Yeah,
me.
he's a big rim.
No, you're wrong. Creamer Gin is the chestnut. Prima Gin is the
Oh,
human
okay,
one.
sorry.
Prima Gin kind of upsets me.
Yeah, he's a bit weird.
He really unsettles me.
Strange
in
bloke,
like a
and he
weird
plays
way.
the violin and does all this stuff.
I don't like
These are
Creamer Gin.
two
I'm a fan of the
gins
guy.
that only appear in party mode.
Yeah, which is really weird.
They're quite interesting.
They're quite they're quite cool. Some of the party mode environments are beautiful.
They're absolutely stunning. The Pirate
Really nice.
Bay, I keep calling it that. Pirate something.
It's called Pirates Coast. It's
Yes,
it's
that
really good. That
is
bit.
gorgeous, and you go
I
on.
agree. This rich like jungle path.
The
It's
framework
stunning, isn't
through
it?
which
I
you
know.
progress if you win mini games is you're all on boats and you move through. It's very cool.
I won't like. It's fucking complicated.
Yeah,
It took me
it's
a long
it's a whole
time
game
to figure it
It's
out.
like a game within a game, and you play it with mates.
It took me so long to understand. Each attraction on the map is a different way of playing all the mini games.
Yes,
like
yes.
it's like a overarching
Framework.
frame through which you win it by playing random mini games.
Yes.
So you've got the Pirates Coast, which is you're all on boats, gets to the end. Genie's Lair is like that. I think a 5x5 grid of treasure chests. You have to unlock them all, and
Yep.
you you get gold by doing it. The treasure hunt, I think, is you move around a kind of grid or like a path, and you pick places to try and locate one item, and you kind of boost yourself by mini games. Tournament Palace is like a one-on-one head-to-head thing, I think, in a palace. World Bazaar is bizarre. You unlock it later, and you get it. I think you do challenges to unlock carpets, and then you auction them off. And like you have to learn which one's good, which ones aren't. Fucking weird. And then the World Libraries like has the like archive of all the games.
And,
you
throughout all of this, you're guided by an Arabic Omoche.
You've got Omoche with a fucking turban on his head.
So
must
funny.
be kind of problematic.
It's so funny.
Quite funny.
Arab
I won't lie. The final
Sheikh Omoche.
Yeah, Sheikh Omoche. The final X adventure was a fucking letdown.
Yeah,
so what you unlock for getting all the fire souls, you get it sort of like stepwise. You get it in different increments of the amount of fire souls you get, and you unlock it different. You can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Cream, Blaze, and Silver and Blaze. It's which is really cool to see them out here, of course.
It's not. That seeing them is amazing. Weird. It doesn't make any sense that they now exist in real form.
And then like the last thing you get is Final X Adventure, which actually no, the world is called X Adventure, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But which all it is just to like you do all the mini games in one go. It's like expert mode from Shadow, and see if you can get through the whole thing.
The whole thing is basically Sonic Shuffle.
Yeah,
but like for the Wii,
and more sort of
kind of better,
more Arabian.
Yeah, and Arabian.
What is great is this. The music in it's really good, and the standout is this fucking one. This is such a tune. Really funky.
It's amazing. It's so good. I love
brilliant.
That
song. They're quite fun. The tune. This is some of the other ones as well. I saw this. It's like classic Sonic minigame themes. They're great. What's this one? They're great.
It's just so shuffle.
Yeah, very shuffle. Listen. They're great, this one. Tunes.
They are.
And this is one. Well, man, this is a very good song. So Sonic.
That is a remix of something.
I think it is.
It definitely is, but I'm not sure what.
I don't know.
It's
such a massive feature. It
is massive. So that whole thing was designed concurrently by a different team.
Yeah. Very cool.
Anything else you want to say before we rank it?
I think that's it.
Well, we've been going for about 3.5 hours, so it's probably time to now.
Wow. Yeah, maybe it is.
It's now
let me just look at my
1:40 for us.
Fuck me. Start at 10. It's mad. I think that's everything I've got.
I've said everything I want to say. Which is a lot.
Me too. Cool.
Let's rank it.
So we're going to rank 6 different categories. We're going to rank concept, gameplay, entertainment, location, soundtrack, and art style. Each one's out of 10. Total of 60.
Mm-hmm. So concept. This is the storybook vibe. And Sonic in the Arabian Nights, etc., etc.
So story, Arabian Nights, the themes we touched upon, of all the Eraser and Shara stuff, which I think is genius. That will come under this. I put concept pretty high. I praise this concept and I want it to come back. The on rails shit, I think we kind of put all that in gameplay. But maybe a little bit here because it was the idea to have it all based around that. Maybe.
No, I think that's gameplay. I'm going to go in hard and say it's a 9.
I completely agree.
Yeah,
9. Yeah, cool.
9. And then gameplay. So it needs to be heavily something.
Pretty fucking low. I'm thinking 3. Because think about the UI as well. That even navigating the fucking menu is a nightmare. He controls rubbishly. He the way that playing as him progresses is really wrong. You're not meant to start off and hate and not enjoy playing. It's just done badly. That
although
because the rest we can.
There are moments of like that was
get moments.
Really satisfying when you do the right things.
Really not many.
And there are some elements of the gameplay which are surprisingly nuanced, like how you can cancel your movement by both braking hard and slamming on the jump, so you then charge your jump. I think it's got lots of potential. It's just limited by the
maybe Wii. Maybe 4. What do you think?
I'm somewhere between 4 or 5. So should we say 4?
I think 5's too high.
Okay,
let's do 4.
4's fine.
Okay, entertainment. Should we do our experience or how one would play it?
I think you have to kind of balance it.
Both, yeah. I'd say like 6, maybe. Even though I had such a good time playing it.
I loved it.
But I think we have to knock it a bit for the saving because that isn't right. I know we both.
No, it isn't, and it would really frustrate you because it's
it
just unless you know the levels so unbelievably well and you have all of the patterns of everything memorized.
Yeah.
you're just going to get hit again and again and again.
So I think it does have to be knocked a little bit for this. Like 7, maybe. 6, I think 7.
Let's say we gave Sonic 1 a 6.
I think we give this 6.
I agree. Let's give it a 6.
Location's 10.
Yeah, I think
immediate
that's a
10.
10.
Immediate
No
10.
I
have this like knockout.
Yeah, it couldn't be more of a 10.
Soundtrack.
It's a 10. We gave so the other.
I'm saying it's a 10, and I'll tell you for why. Because so we've obviously been through all the levels. Listen to the other shit, the cutscene stuff, and the menu. This is the menu. It's called
good.
Sandstorm.
I know it's good. I will accept a 10.
It's such authentic, like Arabian
I will
shit.
accept a 10 because of how hard they lean into it.
It's really nice
It's
stuff.
some really good shit. I'll accept a 10.
Just the effort put in is amazing.
Agreed.
And finally, art style. 10. I also think 10.
Yeah, fucking 10.
The as I've said, the research design effort, knockout.
Agreed. Let's smash it with 10.
Which gives us a total of 49.
49. So let's just say, I'll go through all of the games we've done so far to see where it compares. Yeah, so we're giving this 49. Okay. Sonic Heroes got 50. Sonic 2 8-bit got 44. Sonic Colors got 48. Sonic Fighters got 46. Sonic Advance 44. Superstars 25. Solo. Riders 54. These are all out of 60. 54. So we've put this. Yeah, that's high. Riders was high. We did love it. Labyrinth 29. Shadow the Hedgehog 57. Our top dog so far.
Hell yeah.
Sonic 1 49. Which gives it on par with this, and then Sonic All Stars Transformed and Sonic 3D Blast both got 47. So that feels right.
I think so.
I think you've got to take into account what our game experience versus what it was meant to be. I think
we do.
I think that sits good with me. I'm pleased with that.
Yes, me too.
And it is better than Colors. It is.
I agree. Oh yes. I agree. Objectively, it's 49's right. I would say I way prefer it.
I'm pleased it just topped Colors.
Yeah, me too. Thank God. Yeah. Cool. There we go. What's
epic? That was so fun.
That was fucking. I've been so excited for this for so long.
I fucking love this game.
So good.
And I cannot stress how everyone should just play it on the emulator.
I completely agree. It's so worth doing. It's so worth pushing past the shitty start to get into it.
100%. Watch Sonic resolve a poor female genie's horrible relationship trauma.
Outstanding.
In beautiful style.
in under amazing Arabian
while
context.
running through like dinosaur jungles and skeletal domes. Epic.
Spectacular. Okay, what's next?
Well, we're going to massively
we're going to throw it way
take
back.
a step kind of down and across back to Sonic Chaos.
That's right.
Which is,
I believe it's 1993.
1993, and it was like it's the first Triple Trouble was the sequel, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so it's one of the.
But it's kind of the sequel to Sonic 2 8-bit.
Yes,
kind of.
Yeah, it's not a mainline Sonic game, is it?
No,
technically. So it's one of the spin-off 8-bit games, which has charm and there's lots to say about it that's interesting. But it's very different from Secret Rings.
Yes, it is. Yeah, cool. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Should we end on a little ditty? Why don't you end on some like?
Should we end on Well, just this. Why
don't you just end on what you would always end on when you go back to the menu, like we've heard 15 million times?
This.
That was tight!